Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Can everybody see me? If you would, start us off in the chat. Let me know what grade you teach and what subject is your favorite. It could be your own subject, could be somebody else's subject. I am excited to be here chatting with you guys. My name is Tyler, and today what we're going to be covering is remote learning with Google. So you guys, I want you to stay active in the chat, talkative. I want this to be a day that adapts around what you need and what is best for you in your classroom. But I'm going to cover a wide range of um, you know, video options for your classroom, Google stuff, pretty much anything that you might need to cover to be efficient and do your class well, no matter what it looks like. So, man, you guys are good. Look at these. You guys are talking to the chat. I love it. Let's talk. Let's go. This is good. Okay. So we're going to talk for a few hours. You guys can chat in and out. If you throw questions up there, let me know. The more I see it, if it's fast, I'll try to catch what I can. If not, we're just going to keep rolling. Okay. So let's start off with this. Okay. Just so you can find this video later. And then I've got like 300 plus other videos. So if you hit underneath the video, hit the red subscribe button, hit that, and then hit the thumbs up under the video, hit the thumbs up. Okay, that's YouTube 101. So if you haven't used YouTube a lot, this is something you're going to get used to as you go throughout your year, because you're going to be pulling videos, you're going to be posting videos, you're going to be streaming videos, maybe just like this. And so hit that red subscribe button under here so you can find these videos later, and then hit the thumbs up so that it's just a nice thing to do. It's just nice to say like. So hit that thumbs up if you want to practice on the video. So we are rolling, guys. We're going. Okay, so if you don't have a link to the presentation, I put it in there earlier, but I also have a short link. We've got a lot of people here, so I'm gonna toss the link in there again. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna post it in there. Everybody ready? Here it goes. If you don't have the presentation, it's going in there right now. Okay, here it goes. 1, 2, and 3. Boom. You know what I can do? I can actually put it in the comments under, because you guys are in what is called the chat on the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the link, and I am going to, let me see. I can toss that link into the comments. So watch this. Here we go. So I've got that copied. Now I'm going to roll in here. I'm actually going to go comment on the video, and I'm going to toss it underneath. So it'll stay there the whole time while you guys are chatting and talking. So let me see. All right. 3, 2, 1. It is there and up. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm giving you guys time to jump in, watch the video. That was weird because I clicked on my own video. And so it was like me talking back to myself, which is always weird. Okay. So I feel like I've given you guys some time to jump in. It seems like we're very active. Is anybody, let's do this. I do a series on this website called Tea Time with Tyler. And in it, myself and other teachers, we walk through different platforms, different things that you can do with Google and other online, video, pretty much anything I can help with. We talk about, we work through. So I would love to know, what are you drinking this morning? I'm drinking a coffee. It's a vanilla K-cup that I put in. It's delicious. It smells like a Frappuccino, but it's like half the price. So awesome. All right, guys, we're about to jump into the presentation. You're more welcome to just follow along on the screen, but there are a bunch of links in here. Look at the comments. If you need the link, look at the comments under the video. I just tossed the link in there. If it's not there, that means that you might be on a Wi-Fi that is restricting it. If not, it's not a big deal. We can send you the link to this out afterwards. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to jump in. We're going to start rolling on Google for Education. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'll try to get to as many as I can. Okay, guys? Sweet. Here we go. We're rolling. Okay, so the first thing, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, just so you have some context for the things that I know about, because I like to give thoughts on things that I have experience or knowledge in. So my name is Tyler Tarver. I am currently the dean of a college here in Conway called NLC College. What's up? Like and subscribe. I started out teaching high school math. So I was teaching math, and I was a history major in college. So it's like, I don't know how that worked. It was just, early 2000s was a weird time for education. So I started teaching high school math, And then after that, I transitioned as a tech director slash instructional facilitator for technology. So I'd help teachers and administrators use technology and incorporate it in a district. I'm talking when we started putting technology in, we had our internet was like a suggestion. It wasn't even real internet. It felt like we were just getting that. All the teachers are running on like Windows XP, which if you guys remember, Windows XP, like Windows quit supporting that like 10 years before we were using it. And so we were trying to adjust in that digital world, and we ended up rolling out one-to-one for everybody like 7 years ago. And in the process, it was just a fun process. So after that, I became the principal of a school. And our school, it was 6th through 12th grade, and we had waivers where we could offer virtual, like fully virtual classes, like all online, or they were in person the whole day, or it was a hybrid. So they were like, some students would go to class for, 3 days a week and then be at home for 2 days. They would, rotate through however they needed to for their schedule, for their needs. And so I was a principal of that school with a lot of virtual learning. So it's like, back in 2013, I think it was when I started being the principal there, we got a lot of reps. We got to figure out what works with an LMS, what doesn't, what are the best options, how are we going to roll as a district, as a school with teachers. It was a big learning experience. And I know you guys going, in virtual in March, April, it is a learning experience. And that's how we have to treat it. We have to treat it like it's a learning experience. I'm going to talk more on that here in a little bit. So I was a principal for a while, and then I moved into central office. I was director of curriculum instruction, communication technology, and personnel, which is like pretty much a fancy way. It's a less fancy way of saying I was assistant superintendent. I just didn't have the title or the pay raise. Who needs that? Am I right, guys? Nobody needs titles or pay raises. It's fine. So I did that for a while, and then now I'm at the college. So that's a lot of the stuff I've done practically in the classroom at a district, like a public school. Like I've done it. Like I've been in the trenches with you guys, trying to help educate students. But alongside that, I've done stuff like this YouTube channel. I've done a lot of online learning. So I've had online videos for over a decade. And so I've got a lot of experience with running video online and trying to learn and educate people through YouTube. So a lot of reps with that as well, do podcasts and all of that as well. So my website, if you need any resources, anything we talk about today, I have on my website at tarveracademy.com. You're more than welcome to go in there, and it's all free. Like everything on there is free. So take anything you want and make it yours. Okay. If you're not in this presentation, that's totally okay. That's totally cool. You're gonna get the link to this afterwards, and you can go in and steal any resource I talk about. You can have anything that we have in here. And when you do, here's some of the products we're going to talk about. And I've made this a navigation for the presentation. Navigation for the presentation. And so Elizabeth said, do you sleep? Not as much as I probably should. So not as much as I probably should. So this is a navigation bar. So you could click on any of these and then click the link under, and it'll take you directly to that slide in this presentation. So if you want, this is like a quick navigation for you. And if you don't have the presentation, it's cool. I'll give it to you at the end, but also we'll email it out to you guys. Okay, cool, sick, excited, awesome. Okay, as we get started, there were 2 things we talked about. Hit the red subscribe button. That way you can find this video and other videos I make for teachers later. So hit the red subscribe button underneath the video. And then also hit the thumbs up, hit the like button if you have that. See that right underneath the video, there should be like a little like button. Hit that. That's just a nice thing to do for people. So we are going to keep rolling. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, we're going to go through a lot of practical stuff. I'm going to hit you. The plan for today is I want to talk to you a little bit about stuff that's necessary as far as like mindset and what you should think as you work through stuff in your digital, virtual, in-person classrooms. But also after that, I'm going to give you actual resources that you can use, like full on, here are resources, use this, make it something for you. Make a copy of it. It's yours. I've done a lot of that grunt work for you, and I want to save you some time. So I'm going to give you those resources, show you where to find them. And then after that, we're going to talk about just Google products, how to be efficient. We're going to talk about YouTube, Docs, Sheets, Chrome, Gmail. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff and how you are going to be more efficient in your classroom. Because I'm going to straight up say this is on the record, okay? Teaching with virtual students is more work than it is in person. It is more work, especially if you're doing a hybrid, you're doing both at the same time. It is more work. If some person gets on the internet and is like, teachers, why are we paying them full price? They're just sitting in their sweatpants, playing on Facebook. That person is ignorant and they don't know what they're talking about. I don't care who they are. They don't know. They've never been a teacher. They've never taught virtual. It is harder to teach virtual than in person. And teaching in person is harder than a lot of people's jobs. Okay. So let's not get like self-righteous out on social media. It is hard, but you guys can do it. And I want to teach you ways to be as efficient as you can to save you time in certain areas so you can use that other time to invest in where you need to invest. So that's what we're talking about. So cool. Rachel asked, can I put the link to the slide in the chat one more time? I think I should have put it in the comments. Let me make sure. It might have blocked it out of the comments, but let me see. I'm going to throw that in the chat real quick. Let me see. Boom. Boom. You also, I could give you the link to this, but it might max out actually, I'm going to give you the link. If it maxes out, we'll roll with it, but I'm going to tell you the short link for this. So I'm going to switch back to it real quick and then we're going to get rolling. If you want, it's a good time to screenshot this. Okay. So screenshot this if you're on your computer or your phone or whatever you're watching this on. Go to bit.ly/PCSSD Google, all lowercase. Okay. If you can't see the comment, that's fine. Some of you guys are saying that. It's okay. Go here and you'll be able to jump into this presentation. bit.ly/PCSSD Google. So you see that it's in the Navy or whatever. Check on that. Type that into your search bar. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that in the banner. So while you're getting to that, I'm going to put that in the banner so it'll be up here. So bit.ly/ what did I say? PCSSD Google. Okay, add banner, and then I'm going to toss that in. Okay, that's the link. Man, it took me that long to get there, but you know what? That's the way we got to approach our virtual stuff. You're learning, you are growing, you're adapting, you're adjusting based on whatever it is that the situation brings in that moment. Okay, sweet. Is everybody with me? Y'all feel good? Y'all doing great? Okay, here we go. If you're doing great, oh my goodness, I keep switching my screens. If you're doing great, hit the like button underneath the video and we're going to keep rolling. Okay, sorry, it's clicked off my screen because I hit the full screen thing and I shouldn't have. Okay, y'all ready to jump in? Okay, if you have any questions, throw it at me. I kind of got a gist of what you guys are going to be doing coming into the fall. And so hopefully I address that in a way that is applicable and helpful for you guys. But I want to talk about a couple key components to going virtual. There's a lot more than this. This is a full book. Maybe I should write that book. Oh, I will. Okay, so here's what we got. We're going to go in and Tracy, I saw Tracy's name. Have you been in some of our tea times that we do on this channel? I think I've seen your name before. Okay, I'm sorry. I get distracted by chats and I want to talk to you guys a lot because I love to be interactive. So ask questions if you need to. So here we go. Keys to virtual learning. I'm going to give you a few keys, and this is more like, I'm going to give you practical stuff. I'm going to give you resources, but you have to have a mindset when you go in to teaching any students through a virtual arena. Okay, and I'm going to hit you with those right here. Okay, number one, you have to have efficient programs. Okay, and you guys know this with anything you've done on the internet. You have something, you have knowledge or a skill set or something you want to teach your students, and then you have a program or tools that links that to them getting them. Okay, so when you're in an in-person classroom, there's not a lot that has to be in between. Like when I taught math, I stood up with a marker and a dry erase board and taught students. So the only barrier between me and those students, I could talk to them all day, so there's no barrier there. And then the only other barrier I need is a dry erase marker and a dry erase board. That's it. So there's not a lot of room for that to go out, except for if the dry erase marker starts doing that thing where it fades out. And then I'd always do like a long distance shot and try to make it across the room. I shot about 30%, not bad, but I was no Steph Curry. So you have to have efficient programs that link you to your students, because when you're virtual, you're not right in front of them. It's not as easy as like, oh, wow, the power's out. let's just use the light from the windows and I'm going to write on the board. You have to figure things out, and there's a lot more room for stuff to go wrong, for stuff to happen. So make sure that you are patient as you try to build that, but also figure out what programs are efficient for you and start using those. If your school says you have to use this program, then you have to use it. But the reason I love Google is because me, in the grind of being a principal and lead teacher for all these online classes, I had to find the most efficient way to do it, because I was receiving hundreds of emails a day with little like assignments and things I had to do for students, teachers, parents, other administrators. So it was nonstop on what you have to do with regards to, teaching these teaching people remotely. There's so much. So don't let the programs get in the way. If you find a program that works for you, that helps you be efficient, use it. And I'll be honest, one of the best I've found is Google by far. And so that's why I push it. It's not because Google doesn't pay me to talk about them all the time. I do it because I want to help teachers learn and make their job more efficient so they can focus on what they care about, and that's helping students grow. So, all right, second thing, clear and consistent communication. When you communicate with your students, and this goes for administrators to the teachers, but teachers to the students, clear and consistent communication. It has become more important than ever. And here's why. As teachers, you're getting like hundreds, if not thousands of questions a day, but they're little. Like, you don't even notice at this point. It's like, hey, where do I turn this in? Hey, where does this go? Hey, what do I do here? What's the procedure here? Where's the link for this? And you're having to answer these questions all the time. So it's like that becomes a part of your daily routine. Now, every question a student has is now an email. So if you don't explain something clearly enough, or if there's just any confusion at all, that is now anywhere from 20 to 100 emails you're going to have to answer. And so as you explain things, you've got to be as clear as possible whenever you are explaining it, because the more clear you are up front, the less you're going to have to follow up later. Okay. And I know some of us have gotten in the mentality where it's like, I'm only going to say this once and you pay attention and you listen, or else that's on you and you fail. You can't do that anymore, guys. You can't leave things ambiguous. You have to be clear and procedural. Everything you do needs to be almost like over organized. You need to label things. You need to number things. You need to list things. You've got to be clear and organized in how you communicate with students. And here's the other thing too. It's got to be more frequent. Okay. Whenever we were doing it, we had check-ins once a week. We were like, all right, well, students can work. They can kind of work at their own pace. We'll check in once a week and make sure that they're in their class. They're where they should be. That was not enough. You cannot check in once a week, because here's the deal. The students that are behind in a week, they're not going to have time to do 2 weeks in one, because they're not usually the students that are good at catching up on that. So you have got to communicate with those students that aren't checking in and they're not doing their work. It's almost daily. Okay. And for that system, email, yes, it's documentable, but we can't just say, well, I'll send an email. Well, I'll send an email. At some point, you're going to have to start calling parents. And I'm going to throw some ideas at you guys on how to free up your time in the middle of the day to call and connect with students who haven't checked in. Okay. So I'm going to throw some schedule stuff at you here in a little bit. Sweet. Y'all got a good chat going. I'm trying to keep up. I think I can make you a moderator. Hold on. If y'all wait 1 second. Okay. All right. Boom. Rachel, I made you a moderator so you can go through and you can kind of have a lot more control in the chat now. So if you accept these responsibilities. So Schoology and Google. Yes. Sweet. All right. So last one, and number 3, and this is one that we don't always think of right off the bat, because like when you go virtual, a lot of times you kind of go into business mode. You're like, okay, here's what you need. Do this, do this, do this, do this. We cannot forget our audience. The people that we're talking to, they're anywhere from 5 to 18 or 19 years old. They're still young people. They still need that community. We as adults need that community. How many of you guys want to feel a community within where you work? Like, yeah, you can be all business, but then it feels like a job. You want to feel like you're passionate about the people you work with and what you're doing. And so whenever you're doing this, whenever you're in your classroom, you've got You've got to build community. And the way to do that virtually is a little bit different. Okay. You're going to have to make videos. Now, you don't have to be on YouTube. I'm not saying everybody here, hey, you could be a vlogger. You're going to be, put videos on YouTube and let the world comment. I've got public videos on YouTube for 13 years. I have been made fun of every way that you can be made fun of. So don't, like, I get it. Okay. I promise I get it. But it's it is it is something that you're going to have to do, and there's ways to do it where it's not public, it's just for your class. Honestly, guys, this is Tyler's recommendation. You need to make a video every morning talking to your students. It's almost like a daily announcement video. Some people call it daily announcement, some people call it like daily check-in, community connection. You can call it whatever you want. The best is if you come up with like a cool name related to your class or your name, and then every morning you're just like, you get your phone. Let's see, where's my phone? There it is. You get your phone and you're like, hey class, it's me, Mr. Tarver. I'm so excited to do class with you guys today. I hope you're having fun at school. If you have any questions, know that you can always email me. I want to stay in touch with you guys. A couple of you guys didn't turn in your assignments yesterday, so I'm going to be following up with you this morning. Under this video, I want to hear your thoughts this morning. Tell me, what NBA team are you rooting for to win the championship? Has anybody been watching those? Tell me in the discussion of our classroom stuff. Tell me in the discussion who do you want to win? I'm looking forward to today. Remember, you guys need to watch the video, take notes, and make sure you hit submit. Some of you guys are trying to email me. Don't email me. Hit submit. Thank you, guys. Y'all be good. I'll see you later. Boom. That's the video. And you can upload that directly into Google Classroom from your phone. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can upload it directly in there from your phone, and it won't be public. It is only shared with your class. And I've got videos on how to do that. Okay, so guys, we're about to start rolling into. I'm going to somebody said goggle. Hey, you know what? Goggle's gonna goggle. You know what I mean? That's what I always say. So whenever we so you guys are using Schoology, because I'm not going to pretend to know anything I don't know. Schoology, we looked at using them, but it was like 7 or 8 years ago, whenever we were picking our LMS and everything we wanted to operate through, and we looked at Schoology. We needed something that had a different curriculum. Like, we needed them to actually deliver a chunk of the curriculum for some classes. So we ended up not going with them. But I know a ton of schools are going with Schoology. So I'm on board with it. I think it's great. From everything I've heard, it's great, but I'm not going to be able to teach from that side of it. I want to talk to you about the Google, the video. How are you going to deliver all that stuff? So there you go. So Rachel said that it can be done through Schoology. So everything I'm doing can be done through there. So you're good. I might just show you a way to do it through there in a different route, but you could still all get through that. So great. Somebody said that their favorite team. I'm going to throw it up. Jola Robinson, you deserve a shout out. 96 Chicago Bulls. I said earlier, in the discussion, tell me your favorite basketball squad. 96 Chicago Bulls. I ain't never going to turn that down. That's what I'm talking about. But Michael Jordan, did y'all watch The Last Dance? In the chat, tell me if you saw The Last Dance and what you thought of it. I would love to see what you thought about that. So here we go. Okay. Also, I'm about to go into the resources part of this. So I'm going to give you just a ton of resources. I'm going to give you this presentation. I'm also going to show you where to find these resources at my website. And again, it's all free. So I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to give you things for free to make your life easier. So before we do that, I am going to be sending out more resources as I make them. I'm trying to build some stuff. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I'm excited about right now. I'm building a Google cheat sheet for students, like little tutorials, how-tos for students, how to log in, how to submit. I've got all these resources. I just got to organize them for you guys, and I'm gonna send it out. If you want to get resources whenever I send them out, and this is free, you text teacher to this number. That throws you in this like group thing. It's not a group text. Don't worry about that. But it's a way for me to send you links to resources individually. I can like mass send them. It's free for you. It's not free for me, but it's free for you, and I can send out free resources. Everything I'm gonna talk about today is free. I'm not gonna try to sell y'all nothing. I don't want your money. I want you to be efficient, and I want your classroom to run in a way that you're comfortable and students are learning and growing. That's what I want. So cool. There we go. All right. So if you want, text teacher to that number, and that'll throw you in there. Okay. So I am gonna roll into the resources, I believe, next. Okay. Now, before we talk about Google, I want to talk about a concept that I learned at Google. And it is it is something that I feel like we have to approach. And I don't feel like we've had to in the in-person classrooms because we've gotten our reps in. With virtual, you have with virtual, you've got to be willing to modify and adjust. That's an old term for education. I want to show you another term. It's called the fail bell. So I got the chance to go to Google in New York for this Innovator Academy. I was selected. There's a group, they picked like 42 educators in North America, and they let us go in and we got to work on these projects. Like we all submitted like, hey, I want to do this, or I want to develop this, or I want to have this, and push it out using Google Apps and make a difference in my school or in the wider Google community. And we met there and we were working on these projects, and they set us in these round tables. In the middle of every table, there was what's called a fail bell. Okay, so there was a fail bell. And our goal with that was, if we realized that our project that we submitted and got accepted into this, if that project needed to be like, we needed to like detour from that, or if we needed to just drop the whole project and work on something else, we would ring that bell, and everybody in the room would start clapping. They said, we celebrate here at Google, we celebrate failure because we know failure is a great way to grow. Think of anything that you've had in your life where you've had a major growth. A lot of times that comes out of something that didn't go well. Okay, it's not the end of it. But us as educators, we often will get in that mindset of pass or fail. Pass is good, fail is bad, which it is. We don't want students to fail their class. But with you trying stuff in your classroom, you have to be okay with pitching something that doesn't work. You've got to be okay with pitching something that that could not go the way you want. And then you learn from it. You say, hey class, here's what we're going to do. We're going to divert that. We're going to do this, or next time we're not going to do that. We're going to do this, or I'm going to learn from that and make myself better. Google does this all the time. Y'all remember Google Plus? You remember that? This sucker was going to replace Facebook. Did it? No, it didn't. And that's because it didn't work the way they thought. They learned from it, and then they took that and they pushed it onto other platforms. They're learning from the things that they do that is not perfect or doesn't go the way they want. And everybody thinks of Google. They don't think of a failure. They think of a company that learns and grows. We're literally using Google right now because they own YouTube. They are learning. They try to do video. They didn't. They just bought YouTube. They learned from it and said, you know what? There's a place that's got it better. Let's grab it and run with it. Google Hangouts. They changed that to Meet. Before that, they had Hangouts on Air. They're pushing that to YouTube Live. They learn from everything that they're doing, and then they try to make the next thing better. Somebody just said, Valencia said, POP, progress over perfection. I love that. That is a great way to put it. Progress over perfection. That's so good. That's so good, you guys. I love it. I love it. Hey, that reminds me. Okay, so I just thought of this. So I will text out, if you text teacher to that number after this presentation, I'll text out a link to the presentation and a link to this video so you guys can watch it. Okay, so if you text teacher to that, I'll text that out to you guys later. So there you go. And then you can unsubscribe if you want, or you can stay on there and I'll give you free resources. Okay. Now, speaking of Google, because we're about to roll into it, let me know in the chat. Let me know if you're a Google certified level 1 educator. Let me know if you're a level 2 educator. Let me know if you're a trainer, or let me know if you're an innovator. Actually, I think we have only got 2 innovators from the state of Arkansas right now. So what that means is all of you guys should apply to be an innovator. Okay, I think it's me and a lady from Jacksonville, if I'm correct. I might be wrong. She might be at y'all's district. I can't remember. I don't know, but we're both innovators. You guys should be innovators, trainers. You should work your way up this, because guess what? Google and education, it's not going away. It's not going away. I don't know if you guys have seen what they're rolling out this semester. It's big, guys. They are really leaning into this education stuff, especially because all their tools are geared towards virtual. Oh, we got a bunch of level 2 people. That's what's up. That's awesome. I talk at districts all the time. Very seldom do I have level 1 or level 2 educators. If you're a trainer, let me know if you're a trainer. That'd be cool to know. So level 1, if you want to be a level 1 educator, there is a 3-hour test you can take. And if you're pretty comfortable with Google, if you've done some stuff, like you can share and you can add and you can edit in docs, sheets, slides, all that stuff in your Gmail, you'll probably pass the level 1 exam. I think it's like $10. Okay. Now, if you pass that, you can roll into the level 2 exam. I think it costs like 25 bucks. It's like the level 1 exam, but it's like a little bit more, a little bit harder. It's like the level 1, but it's doing some over the counter like whey protein. And then if you pass both of those, then you can apply to be a trainer. And then if you become a certified trainer, you get to go out. And somebody said they're a level 0 educator. That's funny. I'm stealing that, guys. That's funny. That's funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's funny. I've never heard that joke, and I'm stealing it. I will give you credit for 6 months, and then I'm gonna steal it and take the credit as myself. Sorry, I get distracted by good comments. That's on me. So after you pass both of those, level 1 and level 2, you can apply to be a trainer. And then once you become a trainer, you can go into directory. You can train schools. You can help people be better at Google. So if you've trained your school or your district, your grade level on Google, might apply to be a trainer. That'd be pretty cool. Now, next is Innovator. Innovator is a little bit more select. Trainer, Google accepts like, I don't know, around 1,000 people a quarter into that program. Innovator, it's like, I think maybe worldwide, it's like 100 people a year. I think it's around 36 to 42 people in North America is usually accepted. So if you're an innovator, that's cool. If you're not, you should apply. Like, it's a really cool community, and I enjoy being a part of it. I think it's pretty awesome. So I love Google, and I think if you're gonna use Google, you might as well work your way up there, because you never know. Like, you never know. Maybe somebody will go fully virtual, and then they're gonna need somebody to help their teachers with Google. There you go, throwing that out there. All right. So again, so we talked about a little bit of the concepts, kind of our mindset for what we just did, and now we're gonna roll into some resources. I'm gonna show you where to find those resources. And then also after that, I'm going to show you just how to work all these programs. So we're going to roll through this because I think I've got till 11:30 with you guys. So I want to go through, and it's going to feel like I'm going fast. Okay. And I'm sorry, but here's one of the cool things about us doing this virtually. If I was in person and I was like, hey guys, we're going to talk about this. Hey, we're going to do this. Here's some docs, sheets, slides, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to be like, who is this dude with this strong Southern accent that talks way too fast and gets way too hype and uses his hands too much? I can't remember anything he said. He just told me too much. Here's the cool thing. Everything that I'm talking to you about right now is going to be on this YouTube video. And so you can come back and get this video anytime you want. Okay. So I'm going to show you, before we jump into the resources, I'm going to show you one tip. So if I show you a resource or a website or something that you like, this is a way where you can bookmark that. So I'm going to show you how to bookmark really quick. So if you look up here, do you guys see at the top part of this where it's got the address bar? You see on there, it's got the address bar where I would type in the address. On the far right, there's a star. If you click that star, that is a bookmark for what you just did. Boom. So you're going to hit that bookmark. I'm about to show you guys a hack. Okay. Now, this, when you click done, that's going to go to your bookmarks bar. That's this part right here. Now, here's the problem with that. Look, I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4 things here. I've only got 5 things I can bookmark. You're like, oh my goodness. I've got like 4 things, but I've got 30 things that I want to actually have short links for. I'm going to show you a little hack. Y'all ready? If you go up to that, you can do this when you're typing it in originally, but you click on it, right click on the name of it, go to edit. You can delete the title, delete it. Then I hit save. It will just save the icon up there. And then that's all you'll see. And so then you could have like 50 bookmarks that are all little bitty icons. Because once you remember the icons, you know what it is. And a lot of icons, like, they look different. Now, if you're saving stuff that, like, if you have 5 Google Slides that are saved, they're all going to look like Google Slides. So you might want to give like a short description on those. But if it's like my website, I have my own icon. If it's YouTube, they have their own icon. If it's Classroom, they have their own icon. Everything has its own icon. And so it's a good way to have a bunch of those right there. Now, I want you to bookmark, if you're watching this in your Chrome browser, you can bookmark this YouTube video. Okay. And then you can come back and watch it. You can rewind it. You can be like, what was that guy saying about Jamboard? And you can go in and find everything that I said about Jamboard. All right. So, bookmark this video. And if you're on the presentation, bookmark that. But again, if you text teacher to that number, I'm going to text you the link to this video and the link to the presentation right after we're done. Like, I'll go in immediately after we're done and I'll text you guys the link to the video, link to the presentation that has all the links in it. Okay. But if I show you anything today that you like, hit that star and then add it to your bookmarks bar so you can find it later. Okay. I've been talking. I feel like I haven't like breathed. So let's all take a moment. Let's say, Tyler, chill. We're about to get some resources. I'm gonna breathe and I'm gonna drink some coffee. That's a very cold coffee. That's on me. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's take a drink of our water. Oh, you know what? This water's supposed to be cold. I just spit water. That's never something you want to do on video. Is try to drink water and then that's video 101. Actually, because I've done a lot of videos, like wedding videos. I've shot people's weddings, and rule number one of editing or shooting wedding videos is never film people eating. They look like monsters. The first wedding I shot, I'm like shooting them. I was like, oh man, look how they're having fun. They're eating. Look at the cake. It's so delicious. We, as humans, we look like lions tearing into a gazelle when we eat anything, okay? Watch a movie or TV show. They never eat on film because they look like monsters, okay? So here we go. Here we go. You guys are talking about my accent. Yeah, I know. It's Arkansas. It's funny. This is whenever people are like, I'll go somewhere, I'll work at a school, or I'm talking to somebody. I just worked at a school last week from Colorado, and they were like, man, you got a strong accent. I go, I don't have an accent. I talk the way everybody's supposed to talk. Y'all got accents. Oh boy, just kidding. Arkansas stuff. Stephanie, you asked, how do you get the presentation? I've got here, I'll show you the link to it. If you want to jump in, here's the link to the presentation. You can type that in or screenshot it. Okay. So great question, Stephanie. You should see that pop up. And then if you text teacher to that number, I'm going to text out the link to this video, and I'm going to toss out the link to the spreadsheet. So I'm going to throw you guys that stuff all after this if you text teacher to this number, or you can hit the red subscribe button, or both. Okay. It's a good way for you to just get free resources, and you can not hear it anywhere after that. Okay. So the first resource. So this past Sunday, I made a resource, and I was just sitting there and I was like, you know what? Teachers got enough websites. They're sitting through PDs with me and other people where we're like, hey, try this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And you guys are just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. Please stop. I don't need this. Okay. I don't need this. Just tell me how to check my email. All right. I wanted to make like a shortcut, a cheat sheet for you guys. And so I did. I made one. It is boom. I'll show you. I'm going to type it in. It's at tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher. All right. And I'm going to toss that link in the chat as well. So tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher. tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher. And if you go there, I have a link to a Google Teacher cheat sheet. Okay. Now, I've got it on my website, so you could use that link to the website, but also I have it in a Google Doc. So right here at the top, I've linked to a Google Doc. You could take this doc, you could link to that doc in wherever you want. You could, if you wanted to, you could make a copy of my doc, delete the stuff you don't care about, and then just have that doc. I don't care. Like, you can do whatever you want with this. My goal for making this is to give you guys resources and shortcuts on doing things. So if you click that link, it's going to get full because I shared this and it kind of got a lot of traction. So there's a good chance it might be full. So my website's the safest place to watch it, because even Google Docs, fun fact about Google Docs, it maxes out at 100 people editing the doc at the same time. Now, if it's viewing the doc, that gets a little bit more, but it's still kind of limited. So I've got all these resources of stuff. Everything on here is stuff that I created. And so I can legitimately say, do whatever you want with it. Make copies of it, edit it, change, do whatever you want with all the links, everything on here, because it is all stuff that I made. So most of it are videos, some of it are templates, resources, Google Forms, all that stuff, so that you guys can go in and do whatever you want with it. So the idea, just so you get a little glimpse of it. So right here, I've got way more tutorials than this, and I'm going to show you where to find those. But I tried to cut it down to what are the things that I hear like 90% of the time that teachers need help with. And so this is it. I cut out all the tutorials. Like some of you guys aren't going to be like, oh, I want to build an autocrat form that does this and this. A lot of you guys aren't going to do that. I've got tutorials on them, but you don't need to clutter with that. So I was like, you know what? What's the stuff they need to know how to do? Creating a class, enroll students, invite students. I cut it down to the nitty gritty on what you need. And so each of these links right here under this Google Classroom logo, this is all video tutorials, 1 to 2 minute video tutorials I made where I'm like, hey guys, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. This right here is the Google Docs. So anything under here is Google Docs. This is Google Sheets. This is Slides. This is Forms. And this is Google Meet. So today, because we don't have a lot of time together, I'm giving you guys access to the presentation that I do that is usually a 2-hour presentation. And so do not, it feels like I'm going fast because I am, but that's because I know you're going to have links to all these resources, the whole slideshow. You're going to have the link to that, and you're going to have a link to this video. So just like when you give your students stuff, you're going to give them a YouTube video, and then you're going to give them an assignment, and they're going to pause and they're going to do the video along with the assignment. Here's the cool thing about doing virtual. Used to, when I taught, I would stand up and I'd be like, all right, guys, we're going to learn about Pythagorean theorem. Everybody sit down, be quiet for 20 minutes, and I'm just going to talk about Pythagorean theorem. And they're going to take notes. Then at the end of class, I'm like, all right, guys, start working. We'll give it a shot. Now you can hand them the video, hand them the assignment, and they can pause the video and walk through and do the assignment with the video. So when you're delivering this stuff, keep that in mind that you can do it that way. Okay. So if I don't go through and walk you through a how-to of how to do something, especially with Meet, because Meet is a weird one to try to project. I like to talk about and let you know that those features exist, and then you guys can click and use it later. Okay. So there you go. Somebody said I've needed this cheat sheet in my life for a long time. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate you. I just made it. I had it, but it was like my resources are all scattered. And so I was like, you know what? People don't want to remember to go to my website or go here or go do this. So I was like, let me organize it for them into like as short as I can. So YouTube, you guys are going to be using YouTube like crazy this year. Okay. Whether it's presenting your stuff or going live or just finding resources and sending it. So I made some quick how-tos on some things that I think are really important with YouTube. And then I've got some resources here. So like this YouTube and Education PD, that is a full hour PD where I break down and go through everything for YouTube with education. So I go a little bit slower there. And so that way you can work. And if you want that, there's that video. I've got an intro to YouTube lesson plan. You can do this to your students because here's the deal. One of the things that your students are going to get so sick of is sitting right here. And they're just watching all day. So when you assign certain assignments, let them go make a video. Go make a TikTok or an Instagram video or a YouTube video, whatever. Have them go out and make that. And then that way they can take that and they can, upload it as their assignment. You just need to make sure you ask for the right stuff so that you understand that they know the curriculum and what you want them to learn. Some YouTube teacher tips, all that stuff's there. You can read. You don't need me to read to you. Here, I've listed some YouTube channels that I like that I think is really good. Tasha asked a good question, and I want to answer y'all's questions. So if you have questions, throw them out there while I'm talking. Tasha said, do you make your videos with YouTube or with Screencastify? Here, I'll toss that up so you guys see what I'm talking about. Do you make your videos with YouTube or Screencastify? So I make them with an assortment. What you guys are watching this through right now is called StreamYard, StreamYard, StreamYard.com. It's through a website. And so I've got a link to that later if you want it. So you're more than welcome to skip ahead if you want, but that's what I'm making this through. I like it the most for presenting my screen and presenting me at the same time, because watch, I can flip through this. I can do this. I can be like, nah, it's just me. What's up, fam? How y'all living? They're some of my degrees. What's up? Or I can bounce back over here, or I can just be the presentation. It gives you a lot of flexibility and it's really easy to use. Also, it's really easy to jump in and you can throw in like somebody else to co-present with you very easily. Anita asked, how can you, oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Can you show how to make a bookmark again? Bookmark small. Yes, I'll show you right now. I'm going to do that real quick again because I want to answer your questions. Here we go. I'm going to go back to the cheat sheet, but we're going to get all this as much as we can in our time together. Up here in the top right where the address is, you want to click on the star. Then from here, you want to delete the title and hit done. Now you see here, this made, oh no, you can't see anything I just did. I did it on the wrong browser. My bad. My bad, guys. Okay, so let's say I go to Tarver Academy and I want to bookmark this. Go to this star and then just delete the text and hit done. Do you see that now? Look right here. See how I made that little icon for my website? That is now a short link for Tarver Academy. That's how you bookmark it. So bookmark anything that I talk about today. Awesome. Sorry, I actually showed you on the wrong browser. I'm so sorry, everybody. What was the bit.ly web address at the beginning? I'm going to throw that to you. Thank you for asking. Boom, there it is. That's the presentation if you want it. And then again, I'm going to text it to you guys if you texted teacher to that number. Okay, so here are some YouTube channels that I like. Nadine, Eric, I've met both of them. They're both incredible educators, and they help teachers with technology. Tarver Academy, of course, if you hit the red subscribe button underneath this video, you've got access to me at all times. Math, here are some people. I have a lot of math videos as well. If there are any geometry teachers out there, I've got every lesson for the first 9 chapters, I think, of geometry if you want. So there you go. You don't have to make videos. You can send those out if you want. Sorry, everybody else. And I've got a lot of other algebra and stuff too. And we'll talk about that later. English, as you can tell, I speak the language very well. I don't know why I went all fancy right there. But I'm just kidding. These are people that others have recommended that are really good. I haven't used them because, like I said, I could speak like 40% of all English words. So I'm really good. I'm just kidding. So somebody said that Meet isn't as good as Zoom. I would disagree. And here's why. Because there's like a couple features like the breakout rooms in Zoom. Those are cool. But here's the deal. Meet is about to roll that out, plus more. Meet's got a lot of stuff rolling out because the thing with Google is they're going to start off small, then they're going to make it better. I remember when I think it was like, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, my teachers were like, oh, wow, this new thing called Google Classroom came out. It's pretty basic. Should we use that or Edmodo? Which one are you using right now? It's not Edmodo. So I told them, I said, guys, I would recommend using Google Classroom because what they do is they take that class or they take that program and they're just going to keep making it better, or they're going to drop it and then buy something, make it better. Okay. So I definitely like Google Meet because it's going to keep getting better. Geography, I said geometry. Sorry. I was a history major in college, but I taught high school math. I don't know. How'd that work? Please don't check I guess I'm teaching college now. So I guess I don't have to worry about that license. Actually, I do have a license. I can be a superintendent. What's up? So Mr. DeMayo, if you're primary, Mr. DeMayo, he's a super cool dude. I always try to bump him because one time I was at a conference and my son loves his YouTube videos, and he watches videos like in the summer. Mr. DeMayo would make like an educational video. My son would watch it and then watch all the bloopers that went with it. So I highly recommend Mr. DeMayo if you're primary. And I saw him at a conference, so I went up and filmed him saying hello to my son. My son was hype. He loved it. Okay, underneath that, and this is where I want to show you some resources. So what I showed you before, those are videos or links to other channels. Now, what I want to show you now is I want to show you some resources you can click, and it'll ask you to make a copy. When you do that, I don't have access to it. So let's say you go in and use my classroom discipline one. It is now your classroom discipline form when you make that copy, okay? So here we go. Nancy Miller asked if I had videos for primary. I've got some, but they're not, I don't have as many, but I'll tell you this. I've already told my daughter, she's going into 3rd grade and she wants to be a YouTuber. She records YouTube videos. I haven't uploaded very many of them because I'm like, girl, that means I have to watch them and you're making like 10-minute videos. But if they go remote, I'm going to work those. Like I'm going to start doing those 3rd grade videos live with her. And so there you go. Maria said that she knows several people that have degrees in history that also teach math. I have never heard that, but we need to start a Facebook group together. I'd be down. That'd be cool. Okay. So under resources to make, we're still in my cheat sheet. If you want, you can go to tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher. And then I've got a link to this cheat sheet. Okay. So here, getting to know you form. You've got the first day of school coming up. Okay. So if you click this and you do this, it's going to ask you to make a copy. You say, yes, make a copy. Tyler, me, I do not have, somebody asked if I ever thought about being a superintendent again. I mean, I'm always open to stuff, but yeah, I've got my superintendent license. I did the assistant superintendent thing for a while. I didn't have the title, but I did all the responsibilities of it. So I enjoy school. That's the thing. Like I always just want to make things better. And that's my goal and everything I do. I love what I'm doing now. I love the students and I love the people I work with. So that's a good question. So here we go. So first day of school stuff. If you do this, it's going to make a copy of this. This is a template. You can change all of this. You can delete the header. You can change the questions. You can make it yours. Put your flair on it. I do not have access I do not have access to this. I will not have access to any of your stuff on this. Sorry, I keep wanting to answer questions, so I'm actually going to answer questions as I do this. Renee said, any input for foreign language lessons? There are a lot of tools that you can use. There are a lot of YouTube videos of people speaking in different languages. I've got somebody right now, and I wish I had a link to her channel. Stay with me, hit me up later. And she just asked if she could convert all of my Google tutorials into Spanish. And I was like, absolutely, make them, do whatever you want. And so you can do that. Google's pretty good at captions. So they'll try to interpret what I'm saying and put it in other languages, which I would love to see an Arkansas accent being translated into French. That'd be funny. Okay, so back over to the first day of school. You need to gather student information. Hopefully you guys are going to meet in person. And the web address is tarveracademy.com/ I'm going to put that up so you guys can see it. Let me talk about this. So you're trying to gather information and treat your classroom like in person, but also I know you guys are teaching virtually at the same time. And we're going to talk about different tools and skills you can do that with regards to the video side of it. But one of the things you should do with your in-person class, this is a big one. Okay, let me give you this link, and tarveracademy.com/ Google Teacher. This is a link to all of the resources we're talking about right now. Okay. So here, I'm gonna switch this so I can talk to you guys straight up, face to face, mano a mano. Let me take a drink of my coffee because I'm about to get hype. Okay, if you are teaching students in person, but students are also watching or participating or doing the videos later online, so you're teaching virtual, but you're teaching in person, and you're doing it all at the same time, there are two ways to approach this. Okay. Either you can be teaching to your class and then digital catches what they catch, or you teach to digital and then the class catches what they catch. Most of our natural instincts are going to be to teach the people in front of us. Okay. It's like you don't want to ignore the people sitting in front of you, even though you have something going on your phone or whatever it is. I know a lot of us will ignore people for a text message, but our natural instinct as teachers is to teach the students, Sorry, I saw somebody talking about me saying I was going to get hyped. Our natural instinct as teachers is to teach the students in front of us. And then the virtual kids, they get what they get and they don't throw a fit. The other way to do it is to teach virtual first. I recommend that. Here's why. Mano a mano means hand. I'm sorry. I used the wrong. I thought that meant man to man. I'm not very good. I don't speak Spanish well. I'm so sorry. If this is blocked, if you could, somebody text the tech guy and tell him to make tarveracademy.com unblocked so you guys can get these resources. Okay. Sorry. Back to what I was saying. So I'm not going to look at the chat for a second. You guys keep chatting. I'm not going to look for a second because I need to focus. I need to address this in a way you guys get. This is vital to how your class is going to run. And you're going to think it's a small difference, but it's not. It's a very big difference. You need to teach your class as if it is virtual first. Your primary audience is your virtual audience. Even if you've only got 2 students watching online and you've got 28 students sitting in your class, you teach the virtual first. And here's why. Because if you teach virtual first, those students will get it. The students in the class will also get it. If you teach in person first and let virtual catch what they catch, then those students virtually are going to miss some things because you're not going to make it your priority. You need to make virtual your priority. And then these students, they're not going to be left out. I would even make them the part of the conversation. If I was teaching and I had students that are in person and students that are online, I'm going to be running a live video where I'm going through the lesson and I'm going to be talking to the students online. I'm going to be asking them, hey, what's up? What's up? Here's what we got. This is what we're doing. We're going to go here. You're going to click this. I'm going to post this link here. All the students in person can still click those links. They still have access. I just spit. Sorry. They still have access to Schoology, Google Classroom, all your stuff. They still have access even though they're sitting in the class. I would turn it around and make them almost the moderator. Okay. You make those students, you give them responsibility. I would say, all right, today, you guys make sure when I ask a question, yes, you can say it out loud, but everybody's also talking in the discussion on the Schoology or on Google Classroom, however your guys is delivering it. You're also going to say it in the chat. You also are going to say it in the comments. Sorry, I told you I'm getting hyped. It's making me cough. You're also going to allow them, you want them to almost become like your teacher's assistants. And you can tell them that. Say, look, you have more responsibility because you're here. You are my link to the virtual students. So what they do is, instead of me, because right now you guys see how hard it is. I keep getting distracted. I keep wanting to read the chat, but I also want to deliver the lesson. It's hard to do both as a teacher. Can you imagine doing that? And if I had 30 kids sitting in front of me, what you should do is make your other students the moderators for your virtual class. So I could sit here and I could be like, all right, hey guys, so I'm going to be talking about distance formula. Here we go. Here's an example of the distance formula. I'm going to show you this. Here we're going to do a long radical. And then one of the students in the class can raise their hand. Hey, Mr. Tarver. Yeah, what's up, Johnny? And they can go, so I know what you're saying, but for the people online, they said, why do you have the square root outside of the parentheses and not inside? Oh, that's a great question. You allow your in-person students to almost be the link between your virtual students, and they moderate the chat for you. So like if Casey and Rachel were sitting here and they were sitting in my office, they would be sitting here and they would flash their hand up. And then when I got done with my sentence, I'd be like, yeah, Casey, what's up? And she would be like, so-and-so had this question. I'd be like, cool. And I would answer the question. Now, I found this out because I did a virtual training for a school the other day, or not a virtual training, it was in person, but a couple people were virtual. And I asked them after, I was like, hey, give me some thoughts on this. Yes, Tasha, we will learn how to go live today. You just asked that question. So see, that's why we don't, if I read the chat, I want to answer all your questions, which I want to answer throughout the day, but then we'll do a Q&A at the end. I'll try to leave the last like 20 or 30 minutes just straight Q&A as well, but ask questions as we go. I forgot what I was going to say. I hope it wasn't good. If it wasn't, I'm so sorry. Yes. Jill asked, can you do this with primary? Yes. You can make, like, you know how I made Rachel the moderator earlier? You guys can make like one or two students that are kind of, they're getting it. Like my son in kindergarten could work an iPad just as well as my dad. So it's like, they can do it. You just got to train them, get the reps. I know younger people, it's going to be harder. It's going to be more reps, but you can let them go in and get those reps. Give it to a couple students at first, let them train a couple more, let them get those reps. Okay. Now, here's the other reason that I think you should, deliver for virtual first, and then allow those students to be a part of it, and then like be interacting with the chat and be inputting their assignments. Whenever you deliver your assignments, do not hand out a worksheet the first day of school. Even if every single one of your students is in person all day, do not hand out a worksheet. And I know that some of you guys are thinking of lessons right now. You're like, but I have to. Here's why. Don't hand out a worksheet. Don't deliver anything that you can't deliver virtually. You need to have everybody submit things through your submission portal. Everything they're doing, they're submitting the way they're supposed to. Here's why. There is a chance people will go fully virtual in the fall. There's a solid chance it could happen. When that does, it is best to get your reps and troubleshoot while they're in front of you. So you can still answer questions verbally, but if they're like, hey, can you give me that? Be like, yes, I'm going to email it to you. Boom. That becomes a procedure that you're getting a habit started while they're in front of you. So whenever you do this, you've got to push those in through virtual while you're doing this. Okay. So cool. There we go. I think I covered everything. So now we're going to roll back into the presentation. And if you have questions, throw them out. I'll try to answer them, but also we'll do a Q&A at the end. I'll set a timer. Ooh, Casey just said, I want to make Casey a moderator too. There you are, Casey. Casey said, be able to pivot. That is exactly right. You got to be able to pivot. You've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be okay with doing a lesson that bombs, guys. Admit it to your students. Literally every lesson I give on a Google form, I put a section where it's like, hey, give me your thoughts on this. What could I have done better? I want to get better. That's our goal. We want to learn during this season, but we want to be organized so we have resources, and then we want to keep getting better every year. Even the way I do my lesson plans, I try to get better year after year. I don't want to just be like, here's my lesson plan. I want to get better every year. If not, I'm doing a disservice to my students. I'm just getting a paycheck. And you know what? That's not why I got into education. I don't think it's why a lot of you guys got into education either. You guys got in this to help students get better. And the best way to do that is to keep making yourself better. Craig Groeschel, He has a quote on his leadership podcast where he says, everybody gets better when the leader gets better. You guys are leaders in your classroom. Keep getting better. Make yourself better every day. Pivot and practice and keep getting better. You guys get it. You're saying it in the chat. You understand. I'm sorry. I'm getting hyped. I need a drink of water. Okay. Back to the cheat sheet. I've still got the link. I think Casey got it unblocked for your district. If you go there, tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher, and then that first link is cheat sheet, or I've got it listed on there too. Okay. This is a link to a first day of school getting to know you form. You click it, you make a copy, go in and edit this. Okay. Edit this stuff. There we go. You can click, you can change the title. You can change, if you don't care about class periods, say you have the same students all day, delete that. Toss all this stuff in here. But then you want to send this to your students the first day because you want to gather information. You want to gather information. Carol asked for the quote again. It's by Craig Groeschel. Groeschel is how you say his name. He said, everybody gets better when the leader gets better. So if you invest in yourself, guys, it's not selfish. You're going to, by doing that, make all of your students better because you're going to be learning and growing and being able to adapt that and give that to your students. So awesome. So here's this sheet. If you want it, edit it, change it, make it yours. I want you guys to have that link. So that's another resource. Next, curriculum map template. We're going to talk about this one later when we talk about Google Sheets. But this, I talked about getting better every year. Make a resource or have a resource. Even if your school probably does lesson plans, that's fine. But have a resource for you that allows you to link to all the stuff you're doing, record your reflections, and then be able to build on it every year. I don't want you to make a new one. If you teach the same class 2 years in a row and you make a new one of these, I'm going to come over there and I'm just going to say to your face, don't do that. Okay. So make it and then just keep building and adjusting that one every year. Next one, student reported discipline. No, classroom discipline. Let's do this one. So I actually just sent this one out on my TikTok last night. So TikTok, hit me up. Sir Tyler Tarver, what up? I throw out Google tips and tutorials and resources on there too. Google Forms. This is a classroom discipline form. Now, I don't know. How do you guys in the chat, tell me how you report discipline at the building level? Do you guys have like those papers? It's like white, yellow, and pink, or do you have like a Google form that you submit stuff in? Let me know. Here is a classroom discipline form. You can click that. It'll make a copy. Again, this is yours. I will not have access to this anymore. Okay. Here we go. This is a classroom discipline form. I know it looks the same. It's not. So what I did was I made something that I could go in and I could easily gather. I actually use this on the building level and I would send it out to everybody and then they would all send it in. So then I, as the principal, would get all this and I could look, and at the end of the year, it gave me some great data to where you could go in, and we adjusted stuff based on our building level discipline form. We knew that 6th through 12th grade, 30% of our issues were 9th graders, because when kids hit 9th grade, they lose their mind. And so we were able to go in and be like, we need to focus on our 9th graders. And we're going to do that by hiring like a part-time counselor that focuses just on 9th grade. The other time does AP stuff. We were able to pick which day we should actually, which day we should go in and have our, like, how you have like a snow day kind of around spring break. And instead of putting it on like the Friday before spring break so Linda can go on her cruise early, we decided, you know what? We have most of our discipline issues that third week in April because we've been testing all month. People are tired of each other's faces. Let's put it right there. We learned that from a Google form data that it gave us. You can get a lot of really good data. Okay, so you guys put your discipline intact. That's cool. All right, and then some of you guys have another system. Here's my recommendation. Even if you have a different way to report it with your building or your district or however you're doing it, you need to create a discipline form for your students and your class, because you guys know as teachers, we don't report every issue. Every verbal warning, you don't report that to your principal. But here's the deal. You go in and you've got 3 weeks and little Johnny comes in. Little Johnny, I'm sorry, I'm coughing. Carol just said that one of my 9th grade students is there and that she teaches with you. Who is it? Tell me who it is, Carol. I want to know. I'd love to know who teaches with you guys that I taught when I was at BB. And watch her behind the scenes. She's going to be like, nah, he was a trash teacher. I probably was. I'm sorry. I tried my best. So discipline, we're all talking about discipline. Okay, you need to create a discipline form for your class. So whenever you go in and do it, make it as quick as you can. Make it as short as you can. Don't overcomplicate it, guys. Don't be like, I want to make this 5-page form. You'll never fill it out because it'll be too much time. Make it as short as you can to get the information you want. Here's why though. Because as a principal, as a teacher, I got like little verbal, hey, stop doing that, stop doing that, stop doing that. Usually you're telling kids named Darren. Darren is always the worst kid in class, okay? He's always trying to act up. He's the ringleader. I'm like, Darren, chill. Darren, quit. Darren, stop. And Darren does little stuff every day for 3 weeks. Then after 3 weeks, oh, she loved having me as a teacher. Yes, I'm sorry. Chat's distracting. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are getting to see what you're going to see whenever you're starting to teach because you're going to want to talk to your students there, but you also want to teach. It's just so fun. And you're going to see students talk in the chat that would have never said a word in the class. And that's one of the cool things about virtual. Okay, so, okay. So I have little issues every day with Darren, every day for 3 weeks. Little issue, little issue, little issue. And then finally, after 3 weeks, Darren does something and he like sneezes. And I'm like, that's it. Get out of here. I don't need you making noise. He's like, I didn't do it on purpose. I was like, you're doing that on purpose. Go to the office. And I sent him to the office, and my principal has no context for why you sent him, because they didn't see the 3 weeks of that kid acting up the whole way up to that. All they see is that last issue, and your principal's like, yeah, the kid sneezed. What do you want me to do about it? And you're like, expel him. And it's like you want him to throw the book at him because you're frustrated. If you do these little verbal warnings, all these little things, if you report them, then you can just sort by the kid's name, and then you can copy, paste, and email it to your principal. Be like, hey, here's what he's been doing the past few weeks. You can copy, paste, and send it to the parent. Hey, here's how your kid's been acting the past week. I just need you to know. That could literally be a Friday activity for you, is copy pasting little things. So-and-so kept turning his mic off. So-and-so was in the chat being rude. You can do whatever it is and report those to parents, principals, whoever you need to, but you've got to record it. Now, here's my advice. In here, so I've got right here under behavior, I literally just copy pasted all these behaviors from our handbook, which I recommend you guys do too, because then if you forward it to your principal, they know how to sort that. You're doing the work for them. When I was a principal, I had it to where essentially the teachers are choosing everything for me, and then I just go in, analyze it, document it, and then contact parents. This is what I recommend. You need to have a section for positive behavior, and here's why. Because when you do forward all those discipline issues to parents, you guys know that it means so much more. It goes so much further with the other students and with those parents when you say that you notice when they do something good as well. So if I say, hey, little Johnny was acting up. Here's 30 discipline issues. But here's 2 times where Johnny really stepped up. He was a leader this day, and he was really prepared this day. And I wanted to praise him for that too. You know that if you show that you notice when they do something good, it's going to go a lot further with all the other stuff, instead of them being like, well, you just have to get my kid. You never see when they're doing something right. Say, no, I'm watching. I just don't see a lot of times when they're doing what they need to be doing. So there you go. Make a copy of this, make it yours. That's a resource you guys can have on there as well. Kayla Jackson. I had Kayla Jackson in class. Kayla was an awesome student. I don't know if you guys, I think you guys work with her because I saw her pop her name in there. Kayla was awesome. I remember you sat in the front of the row. I think you actually asked to. You were like, yeah, I don't want to be distracted. I want to sit in the front because I want to be distracted. Because if you're behind that, you like in those back rows, people like chat and talk and whatever. And so Kayla was a great student. So I can attest to that in person. I had her in school. So that's awesome. Okay. So student reported discipline. I also, when I was teaching, I had these salmon colored pieces of paper. Kayla probably remembers them. I'm sorry, I'm going to do that too often. I apologize, Kayla. Yeah, it was a mistake on my part. You got these salmon colored pieces of paper, and it asked their name and what class period it was and what time it was. But then I had 3 questions. First question, what were you doing? 2, what should you have been doing? And then 3, what are you going to do to prevent this from happening in the future? So that's all I did. I asked them that. The students filled it out. You can actually create that in a Google form now. So instead of you having to report all the discipline, you can actually have your students report it through the form, and then you're actually emailing their own words back to them or to their parents. So that's another resource you can have if you want. This is a fun activity about our class Google Slide. We're going to do that here in a little bit. Here we go. Somebody said something really good. Said there is something positive about every student. With some students, you just have to look deeper. It's absolutely true. Everybody has something good in them. We just have to find it. And the only way to do that is to build rapport, get to know them, build connections with them, and help build that community where they feel like they can talk to you. Here's a differentiated lesson form template. You can have it, make a copy. We're going to talk a little bit about it in Google Forms. If not, I've got tutorial videos on this, and this is an actual template you can have and make a copy of. In Google Forms, you can have it go page to page, and each page is its own question. And every time they get it right, they keep moving forward in their assignment. Now, you can set it up to where if they get it wrong, they get sent down here and they can get extra help. And then they come back with everybody else. So it's almost like you can remediate in the lesson for students that miss a certain question. So throwing that out there. Example, adaptive review form. It's another example template you can have that adapts and then shows them tutorials afterwards. We'll hopefully talk about that today. Now, next one. Guys, do you do bell ringers? Tell me in the chat if you do bell ringers in class. If you do bell ringers in class every day. You're going to need to do virtual bell ringers, in my opinion. Okay, and here's why. You need something short to have them check in. I don't know how you guys are planning on doing attendance. I'm assuming it's built into your Schoology, but if not, this is still a really good way to get your students rolling for the day to where you can have an assignment that holds them accountable to do something when they start the day. Whether you have them one class period a day or if you have them a full day in all those, so you can use this. So all of you guys are saying that, yeah, not all, but a lot of you guys are saying, yes, you do virtual bell ringers. So I've got a resource. If you go to tarveracademy.com/quote, I'm going to put it on here. Sorry, I'm going to clear my throat. This is super rude. Sorry about that. So tarveracademy.com/quote or quotes. I can't remember what it is. Quotes. Let's make sure. Yeah, it's quote, singular. Boom. You go in there, add that banner. You're good to go. All right. So you guys can see that now. Now, from here, this is an example. You guys don't have to use my stuff, but mine's there. It's free. I think I've got 180. So you have one for every day of the year. So this could be your consistent everyday thing, whether it's mine. I have some math ones as well. I think quote of the day, it's like if you ask something that is something they don't know, they have to go search for it. So it could take longer than 5 minutes. If it's a quote, I'm saying these famous quotes, it gives you the chance to let them work on it. And you don't have to answer a lot of questions because it's just their opinion. You're asking for their opinion. Here's the other cool thing. I ask for personal application, so they can't just copy paste what somebody else said. This quote of the day resource, again, you're on tarveracademy.com/quote. I'm going to give you it through this, but you can apply this to literally anything you want. Okay. So you go in, and I've even got a template. You could copy this and paste it into your classroom, and that's exactly what you want to say to them every day. And then what you do is you copy the link to this, me talking for 2 minutes. This is an ad. So you talk to me talking for a couple minutes, and then I'm asking them, because I tailored these around a virtual student group. Okay, so there you go. So I tailored it around a virtual student group. I tailored it for students to go in and and I say, hey guys, what's up? Tyler here. Today's quote of the day is by Winston Churchill. He said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. I'd love to know your thoughts in the chat or in the comments. Please tell me what you think. I think, and then I tell them what I think for like 30 seconds to a minute. And then I say, all right, guys, that's what I think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there something else I'm not seeing? Let me know in the chat. So I'm trying to curate a conversation for your students. And here's what it does. Not only does it get the ball rolling, it gets the conversation started. It makes them start discussing. It gets the chat going. You can also take roll with it. If you do this, you could schedule it for 9 a.m. to go live. At 9:15, it closes. There's only a 15-minute window they can work on it. Now, they could submit it late if you want, but you'll know they submitted it late, so you know they didn't check in on time. It becomes your attendance. And if you follow up that bell ringer with like, hey, watch this 20-minute video, that is the first, 30 minutes of class that you're not even having to talk to them directly. So you could go in and say they haven't checked in by 9:15. You spend the next 10 to 20 minutes calling parents to make them check in for the class. So it's a good way to give you a little chunk of time to check in on students and make sure they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that is one way to do it. And I'm going to walk you guys through that real early in classroom. I know we're using up a lot of time, but I'm sorry. We hype. I'm excited. We're learning. So when we hit 11, I'm going to do Q&A. So if you want to look ahead in the presentation, look ahead and tell me which slides you want me to talk about or go through, and we'll do it. Okay. If you teach math, like probably about 7th grade and up, I've got bell ringers for those too. You can go in and use those bell ringers. I do the same thing. I tell the students to write the problem down, pause the video, and I work through it with them. Okay. I think these are all great starters that you can kick off your class. And then I've got some DC stuff. Here are some resources for your students. This first video, a lot of teachers have been using this. It is a quick, that's not me. That's not it. That is something, it's going to skip through now. This is a video where I'm working through and I talk through the first like 6 or 7 or 8 things that every student should do or know when they come into a virtual classroom. So it's like etiquette, like, be on mute. This is positive stuff. Yeah, that's good. That's bad. Like, you want them to be active and you want the class to flow well. These are some tips for students on how to do this. So if you want that link, it's in the Google cheat sheet, which is located at that website right there. Okay, cool. Sweet. I've got a ton of other stuff in here. I don't want to use up all our time going through that. You guys can have this forever. Use it as much as you want. Down here, I've got full training. So if you're like, well, Tyler, I really want to deep dive into Google Classroom or Google Calendar or Google Docs, I've done 30-minute to 1-hour sessions on all these on this website, which, by the way, hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And so if you want, go in, do that. That would be great. So, all right, I'm going to bounce back to our slideshow. If you want to be a level 1 educator and you haven't taken the test, or if you need more tutorials, I've got them on tarveracademy.com/Google. You can go here. I've got these tutorials. You could link to this website and send it to your students. This has how-tos on pretty much everything for Google. So if you need any other tutorials that I didn't put in the cheat sheet, they're all in here. And I even linked to the cheat sheet in that there. So tarveracademy.com/Google. Okay, sweet. So those are resources. I gave you the why. Here's some more resources. We've talked about a lot of that. Now, here's the deal with Google, and here's why I love it. Everything integrates among itself because Google owns all these great products, and they love to make everything work together. So I like this, and I think it's one of the best programs I've ever seen for integrating. So let's talk about Chrome first. Okay, so we're in Chrome, and we're wanting to learn a couple little shortcuts. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but what Chrome is a browser. So don't use Safari. If you've got a Google class, all that, don't use Safari. I love Apple, but Google Chrome works better with all the stuff you're doing. Okay. Firefox, you're not a hacker. You don't need Firefox. It's cool. Like, you don't need it. With Chrome, it's going to remember, it's built in. When you sign in, allow it to remember, because it is secure, because it needs your password to your Gmail. So nobody can just sign into your Chrome, but what it does is it remembers all of your other passwords. So we as teachers, we have to remember like 400 passwords. Oh, it's Bloomboard. Oh, it's this, it's that, all these different websites. This allows you to let Google remember your passwords for you. And it syncs across all your platforms. So your school computer, your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, all those things, it's going to sync across all of those. Okay. So I want to show you something. This may be blocked at your district, but if it's not, it's a good little thing you can use so that students aren't all like watching, or like students aren't signing into your computer. So have you ever let a student give a presentation and they sign in, they sign in for a second and then they sign out, but then it tries to sign in as as that kid for the next 6 months? Yeah, it's so annoying. You need to go up to the see those 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner? It looks like an ant with the legs ripped off. If you click on that, you can go to new incognito window. Anything someone types in that window, they'll not be able to remember. Your Google Chrome will forget it, all the logins, everything. So anytime I log into someone else's computer, I go to incognito mode, because that way it doesn't remember all the stuff that it doesn't remember my accounts on their computer. Now, it might be blocked at your school, which is it's a good thing to block. I'm okay with that, being blocked at schools. I don't judge people for that, because students can sign in and it doesn't remember search history. So it might be blocked. If not, use it. But if it is blocked, you can't use it. The other thing, do you ever get where you switch between your personal Gmail and your work Gmail, and it's and it clashes? The reason is you're signing in the wrong place. You need to go up to the upper right-hand corner, not this little circle right here. You need to go up here and create different accounts under those different email accounts. And then that's how you switch. It'll create new windows. Advanced tip, what I do is I change the theme I've changed the theme color of each of those so I know what I'm signed into. This baby blue theme right here that you see, this is my Tarver Academy account. I use it as like a, oh, it's blocked for students, not teachers. Rachel said that incognito mode is blocked for students, not teachers. That's good. So when they sign into your computer, you can make a new window for them so it won't remember it. That's great. Sorry. That's good to know. Great. Thank you. Switch between the Chrome accounts up here in the upper right. Sign into all your accounts there. Don't switch here, okay? Because that's going to cause friction. It's going to be like, sorry, you don't have access to this account. Can't come in here. Can't sit by me. You know what I mean? Forrest Gump? No? Okay. Can't sit here. You can sit by me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't quote that. Okay. Okay. Next one. Pinning your tabs. Do you guys ever open up like a bunch of tabs and you're like, oh, I've got like 800 tabs. I can't keep up. I can't even find things. Well, what you can do, if you find something you like, you can actually pin those tabs. So like Gmail, Drive, Classroom, all that stuff. Pie banner is blocking where you were showing us. Oh, sorry. Oh man. Okay, sorry. That's okay. I'll show you guys. I've got video link to how to do the stuff that I just talked about. Sorry about that. Okay. So if you have something you use multiple times a day, your email, your Drive, your Classroom, all these different programs that you use a lot in a day, you need to pin those tabs, okay? So what that means is you go up to the tab. See, I'm on the tab right here. Y'all see this? Oh, there we go. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to pin. Watch what happens when I pin this tab. It shrinks it down and moves it to the left. It saves me room. I have so much more room on my browser to do all the other stuff I want on here. So pin tabs, and if you need to unpin, you just right click, unpin, and then you can delete it. Okay, so it's not a big commitment, but that's how you do it, and that's what it looks like. And I've actually linked to a quick video on how to pin tabs. Next, bookmarks bar. We've already talked about that, but you guys, you know this, you're seasoned vets. Gmail. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of talk through this because I want to utilize our time well, and there's a lot we want to talk about, and I definitely want to talk about video and how you can stream it. But I've got links. Everything in blue right here is a link to a tutorial. So you click on this, boom, it's a tutorial. And I've got all these linked in, all those resources I've already showed you like 500 times. Okay. Yes. Tanya asked, does pinning it keep you from accidentally closing it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does, because there's no X up there. And then you can always get it out if you need to later. Fun fact, if you ever accidentally close something, if you hit Control-Shift-T tab, it will bring up the tab you just closed out. So that's a little user tip. So there you go. When you're on Gmail, here's the deal, guys. With email, email is no longer a suggestion. You cannot ignore your emails. Email and then comments within Schoology or Classroom, that is now your primary form of communication with students. You cannot ignore emails, okay? And I think the best way to keep your emails under control, because you're going to get a lot of emails. You're going to get so much more emails in a virtual class than you ever did as a teacher, because students are going to reach out about literally everything. So what you need to do is you need to be able to mark it as read or unread. I've got a quick video on how to do that and why I think it's important. Try that for 2 weeks. I think you're going to see improvement in how you respond and how you handle all of these emails that you're going to get. Also, you need to get rid of the clutter emails. You don't need 400 emails a day from Target, okay? So go in, unsubscribe as you do it. Google has a really easy way to unsubscribe from stuff. Also, you can set unsend. So there's a setting, and I've got a link to a video. When you send an email, it gives you a few seconds. So like, watch, I'll go over here to my email. Watch me watch me nay. I'm just kidding. Why did I say that? I don't even know what that means. So I go here, and I'm going to send an email. Tyler Tarver. Hey, I'm just typing. Okay. So watch in the lower left-hand corner of the screen after I hit send. Watch it send. See in the lower left, message sent. I have time to undo that message. So if you watch that tutorial, it gives you a chance to call back those emails so that you don't just blast them out. Okay? Cool. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm going to make I'm making, this is like my next thing I'm making. Well, the cheat sheet for students and these are the next two things I'm making this week. Templates. You can set up templates for your email so that, because you're going to get the same question 100 times. Yeah, like literally, you're going to ask for procedures on resetting passwords. You're going to ask, how do I submit an assignment? How do I do this? How do I do that? You need to go in and create template responses to all of these. That means that instead of you having to type it out or find links or explain what to do, you're going to be able to go in and click it, and then automatically pick, Google Classroom tips. And you could use my Google Classroom tips for students that I shared with you guys. You can use that, copy paste it, and then that's what it sends them every time they don't know how to do something. You can make them watch the tutorial videos on that mundane stuff that's going to waste your time if you try to explain it all. Send them tutorials, and I've got that for you. So I'm going to send that out on this text. If you go to there and text that, that's going to be the next thing I'm doing. I'm trying to get that out this week. So templates are big. Next, Gmail, auto sort emails. I've got a video right here on how to do that. I've got another one on applying labels. It's in there and you can use that. But next, let's talk about Google Drive. Most people, their drive is super, super cluttered. So we're going to do an activity here in a second, but most people's drive is super, super cluttered. You need to start being more organized with your drive. And that's from this point forward. You don't have to go back and clean it up, but as you receive stuff, start organizing it. Okay. I've got a couple ideas on how to do that, and you can go in there and do that on Google Drive. Okay. So I could walk through it, but I really want you guys, I'll give you the quick one. The quick way of doing it is, if you have those 2 or 3 folders that you use all the time, you need to right click on them and you need to put an asterisk in front of them. Put an asterisk at the front, that will pop it to the top of your folder so you don't have to search for those folders. So that's a quick tip on that. Also, you can sort this stuff directly from your Gmail, okay? Next, other things for Google Drive. Recent, that's gonna be your best friend. You've got recent is over here. It's on the left side of the screen. Hit recent, boom, it brings up everything you just worked on. And as teachers, y'all know we just worked on that mug and now we're about to post it in our classroom, okay? Drag and drop is your friend. You can drag and drop across everything in Google. You can make as many folders as you want. Don't feel like you have to limit it to folders, okay? We're about to do an activity real quick, and I'm gonna post this link because I need to use the restroom. So I'm gonna have you guys do the activity and then we'll bounce back. We're gonna jump to Google Sheets and I'm gonna have you do something real quick. So if you're in the presentation, go to slide, slide 35. If you're not, I'm about to paste this link in the chat. Y'all ready? I'm gonna paste this link in the chat. Go to this Google Sheet, and I want you to fill out that information, okay? So go do that. I'm gonna go use the restroom. So while you're doing it, go in and fill out this information. I'm gonna put this here in case somebody bounces in. Go fill out the link in that chat that I just posted. There's 4 questions. Answer those questions, and then we'll come back, okay? I'll be right back. See you in a second, okay? Y'all keep filling that out. Can you guys hear me okay? Y'all good? Sorry. Okay, thank you for the break. I was like, I thought about like, well, I can either go right now or else it's gonna be really embarrassing later. Okay, so were you guys able to get into that? Some of you guys I see in the chat, you said that you're not able to type. Oh no, oh no, that's on me. That's on me. Okay, let me go in. Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. I just left you guys with something that didn't work. That's on me. I'm sorry. I had to use the restroom. So let me go in and let's see what happens. Okay, so let me click on this. Make sure, because I had to make a new copy last night. Let me check it. Are you guys able to, you're not able to type in it? It might be too full with all of us in there. Ah, sorry guys, that's my bad. Then y'all just had a break, okay? You just had a few minute break. Sorry about that. Let me, I'm pulling it up. Looks like it's loading super slow. Yeah, Lance said it right. Said that only 100 people can be on it at the same time. I thought we'd have less, but it looks like a lot of you guys might be watching together. Man, it is not loading up. Well, yeah, guys, technology, am I right? So let's see. Well, we're still waiting up to load. That's just, it's overloaded. It's got a lot of traffic. Ah, okay. Well, then this is what I'm going to do. Watch this. Here we go. So usually what I would do is I would have all of you guys put that information in there. And then, yeah, oh, so some of you guys are in there. Cool. So let me, you know what I can do? So some of you guys are in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm taking away access. Sorry, if you didn't get in, it's okay. This is not how we're taking roll for today. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change. This is how, I can show you this how while we're doing this. Right click on something in your drive. You can go to share. And then down here, this is who has access to it, me and my other account. So 2 of me. And then I want to go down here. Right now I have it to where anyone on the internet can edit it. So I did have it set up correctly. It's just overloaded because there's a ton of y'all in there. Now, right now, any of you guys can edit. I'm about to take away that access. So I'm going to make everybody can view it. So here in a second, the people that are already in there, they're typing. They're not going to be able to. Taking it away. Take it away. Hey, go. Hey, go. Okay. It's taking a second to load because there's a lot of people in there. It's just chilling, chilling. It's just chilling. Let me check the chat while it's loading up. How are you guys doing? Could be the slow Wi-Fi. Thank y'all for being patient and letting me go to the restroom. I really appreciate it. You know what? Sometimes I used to get embarrassed about that, and then I realized literally every single person in the world does that. So if you give a lot of students a video or audio file from your drive, it only allows a certain number. Okay. Anyone with the link? Let's do this. I'm just going to take away y'all. I'm about to take away all y'all's access. Boom. So I'm taking away access, and that way you can just watch it on my screen. Because that way the sheet doesn't get too clogged. If it'll do that, we'll see. It sounds like we've got like the entire world on this Google Sheet right now, which is what we want. We got the whole world in our hands. It's okay if you couldn't fill it out. That's the thing, and I think Lance said it too. You cannot have more than 100 people edit something at the same time. So keep that in mind. Okay. Sorry, there's an internal error that occurred. Yeah, it's this doc is trying its best to not actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you something else. Right click, I'm going to make a copy. Boom. So I just made a copy of that doc, hopefully, if that works. Man, guys, look at us. We are strong, teacher strong. We crashing all of Google. That's what I'm talking about. So I made let's see, recent, trying to make a copy of it. There it is. So this should have made a copy of whatever it was. So only 2 of you guys got in there. It's fine. We're going to roll this. Okay. So I still want to show you guys. Oh, I need to make my screen bigger so you can see more. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay. So I want to show you what I do every time I create a Google form. So first thing, did you guys know that if you click on a box and then you drag this down, it's going to go and it's going to create a bunch of those. So let's say there's a bunch of Stacy. Let's say there's a lot of occupational therapies. And then I'm actually going to take both of these and I'm going to do this. There we go. So let's say this was my sheet. I want to show you guys some stuff that this is what I do every time I get into a Google Sheet. Okay. So when I get in there, if you share a Google Sheet with me, your boy is going to do this. I don't care I don't care who owns it. What did Casey say that was funny? What you saying, Casey? Don't is Casey making fun of me? I'm looking. I'll take time out. I'll take time out of this. I'll pull this car over. Casey said, Casey said, I'll see everyone this afternoon at 12:30. The link is in our sheet. That's pretty funny, Casey. Touche. Touche. Okay. I guess y'all got, yeah, y'all have to take the rest of the day off, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not your boss. I can't tell you to do that. I'll tell you this. I know I talk fast, and I know I'm trying to go through a lot of information for you guys, but that's why at the beginning I start with, here's where to find all this. I've got literally 26 hours worth of tutorial videos and walkthroughs on this stuff. So you could watch more than you'll ever want to watch of my face talking about this Google stuff. So here we go. Here's what I do every time I get a Google Sheet shared with me. Okay. I'm going to start with the first one. Do you guys ever like create a form or a sheet, a form that goes into a sheet, and then you scroll down and you lose like, you're like, what does this mean? I don't even know. And then you have to scroll up to the top. You can click on that row, click view, freeze, one row. That will stick that row at the top. So now I can scroll down and I can see anything I want. Okay. All right. Okay. So then here we go. We can right click on this. You can do the same thing for columns. We can go view, freeze, column. There you go. Now I can scroll over and the names stay there. So for your grade book, for any homework, looks like I misinterpreted what she was doing. So sorry, everybody. My bad. So you can freeze the rows and the columns. That way, student names right here. Do you guys ever create like a long form that's a test, and then you like scroll over and you're like, what student wrote this? Now you can see. Apparently it was Stacy. Good job, Stacy. And so here we go. The other thing I do, I'm definitely going to make this top row colored. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to say yellow. You know what? I'm probably going to bold it because I'm feeling crazy. Last thing I want to show you in Sheets, you can go in and all these extra cells, you can get rid of them. I just click on the top column, I scroll over, I hold shift, click the other column, and then I right click on the top part, right click and delete. There you go. Now I don't have to worry about anything scrolling over. It tightens up whatever it is you're looking at. So there you go. Okay, that's Google Sheets. Now we can go back to Docs because I had to skip the Sheets because I was trying to give you an activity, which apparently only 2 of you got in before it crashed. So let's talk Docs. I want to show you a couple things in here, and then I'm really trying to get to classroom and video, and so I want to bounce through this as quick as possible. So the main 2 things I want to show you about a doc is you go to New, Google Doc. You know how to do that. Now here's the main thing. First off, give it a title, and you can do that in the doc, and then just click up here. Boom! It's going to bounce up there. Here's what I got. And people always love this because it's great for teachers and students. Let's say you have a student who doesn't type well. Say you've got kindergartners and they've got little hands. They got the little hands. They're trying to hit the little keyboard. And it's taking them forever. Ralph asked a good question. He said, can you slow down your voice on the videos? Yes, you can. You can speed up and slow down a YouTube video. You just click on the video. There's like a little dots and like the settings on it. You click it. And then you just say that you want to do half speed. So you can't slow me down. That's what's up. Good question. So here we go. This is a tip for if you have students who can't type or very well, or typing and even reading as they come in as kindergartners. Here's a tip you can use at any grade level, even for yourself. Go to Tools, go to Voice Typing, and then this right here is your microphone. And this is your stage. Click the mic. Hello, this is me writing out exactly what I'm saying. Can you imagine a kindergartner going in and being able to just talk and put their thoughts onto a piece of paper without having to type or use their little bitty hands to do all the stuff they need to do? I once used this when I was driving to Jonesboro to do a training. I wrote a 42-page paper on facilities for my superintendent stuff. I wrote that in like 30 minutes, just talking. And then I went in and just edited the grammar. Now, the grammar took me a few hours to edit, but it recorded everything I said. Now, it's not perfect, especially of an accent, but if you talk like a robot, then it works a little better. Talk to it like you talk to Siri. There you go. Now, this is the part where a lot of English teachers start getting frustrated because they're like, hey, Tyler, that is a very, very long sentence. Watch what you can do when you want to enter the end of the sentence, period. Then you can start a new sentence, exclamation point. Then we're done, question mark. Look at that. Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. It's pretty cool, right, guys? It'll read everything you say. So I'm going to hit this and I'm going to close this out, and you can use this anytime you want. Boom. And then you just go in and edit it. Here's one of the cool things too. Watch this. I'm going to hit record again because I do this, and I never tell people this, but you can do this. It'll stay on for a long time. It doesn't kind of shut off automatically like Siri. It will sometimes, but not very often. Watch. I can go in and start talking, and then I notice a mistake. And then I can keep talking again. You can go in and make the edits and then continue talking, and it'll pick up wherever your cursor was, period. It's pretty fun, period. What's it going to do for that? Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that's a quick tip. Last thing I want to show you. Okay, so let's go to my Google Tutorials video or spreadsheet. Last thing I want to show you is called version history. Have you ever shared something with a fellow teacher? You know, you share something, you go like, hey, Tammy, or no, you know a teacher, probably named Tammy. Tammy's like, hey, can you give me that lesson plan? I want to look at this. Can you send that lesson plan you made to me? I'm gonna use it in my class. And you're like, yeah, sure, Tam, I'll send it on over. And then a year later, when you go to your lesson plan, you're like, what happened to my lesson plan? Tammy like destroyed it. Okay. She like deleted stuff, she added stuff, all these things. You can actually revert to the version pre-Tammy. Up here in the top middle, do you see where it says last edit was made 4 days ago? That is where you get to version history. Click on that. You can see every version of any doc, sheet, or slide since it was started. Somebody said, or Karen. I usually say Karen, but she gets picked on enough on the internet, so I try to just mess with Tammy. Will this work with Google Forms too? I want to say somewhere it did, but I've never tried it. Maybe we can try it if we have time to get to the forms tutorial stuff. So here we go. You roll through, you pick something, boom. I can pick May 20th of 2019. I can see what this document looked like. Oh, I was almost finished with it. This is a year ago when I was doing these Google Docs. Let me go here. You can actually label these different versions. Week 2, day 3. You can label it whatever you want. I labeled this one pre-Karen because I guess I did use Karen as my example last time. So you go in, look, I can see what this document was at any point in time. And so you can go in here and I can actually turn it back into what it was pre-Tammy or pre-Karen. And you can restore this version. It'll bring all your old stuff back. You can see who made the edits and what edits they made. It'll go in and it'll highlight it as green if you made edits. Also, you could do this. Like say you want to just be like, yo, Tam, you can have that that lesson plan you made. I want to have my lesson plan and you don't want Tammy to have access. You can go in, hit those 3 dots. It looks like a slender snowman. You can click that, hit make a copy. That will then, that version at that moment, it'll make a copy outside of it just for you. It'll be just your little secret and then it'll be yours. And Michael asked, have I ever used Draftback on Google Docs? Yes, I have. Draftback is an add-on to where you can click it and it shows either in real time or sped up people working in it and building that document. Here's the only thing, and I may be wrong. Michael, you can let me know if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I heard that about a year or two ago, Draftback stopped being supported, so it doesn't work anymore. If I'm wrong, fix it. And if not, it was probably made a replacement. I just haven't seen it yet. So there's a thought for you. Lance said it doesn't have that option. So it's only in doc, sheets, and slides. Okay, so you can see it in doc, sheets, and slides. You can't do it in forms. Sorry, guys. Okay. Here we go. I'm trying to think of what's most important because I only have like 45 more minutes, and then I want to just straight answer questions about everything you guys have. So we're going to do 45 more minutes. If you want to go ahead and tell me which topics you want me to work on, I can start trying to like push towards that. Again, I've got links to how to do all this stuff. So if you want to spend more time on it, do it. And then you can always hit me up, text me at that number, or you can email me or whatever, and I'll try to help everybody I can. Google Slides. Um, I'm sorry, Joseph Joseph McDaniel may have just had the funniest quote of 2020. He said, Joseph said, "So is the opposite of pre-Karen post Malone?" Can we take a moment? Can we take a moment? Whoever's closest to Joseph, take that dude a trophy. I don't have any trophies. Nope. Here you go. Here you go. I didn't poot. That was my chair. Here you go. Joseph, you win the Guitar Hero Guitar of 2020. Congratulations. We're going to mail this to you. That's incredible and funny. Post Malone's a rapper. And I'm stealing that joke, Joseph. I'll try to give you credit, but I make no promises. Okay. Sorry, that threw me off good. That threw me off real good. Okay. So Google Slides, it's their version of PowerPoint. The difference is Slides is collaborative. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Here is a good activity you can do. You could take this slide and give it to your students the first day. It's a good way for them to put little bits about themselves so you can learn about them. And so take this slide, make a copy, do whatever you want with it. Use these resources. And I've actually got a version of this on the cheat sheet if you want it. Oh, no, I need to update that version. No, that version will work. Okay, cool. Sweet. Here's another thing I used to do with flipped classrooms. I taught a math class here when I was where I'm the dean. And what I would do is I would flip that classroom. So if you've ever done it, I'm going to give you kind of the simplest version of it. I would go in and create a YouTube playlist of whatever it is I'm going to talk about next class. So if next class we're going to cover multi-step equations, what I'm going to do is before we cover it in class, I'm going to go create a playlist of, like I would teach it. The easiest version, a little bit harder, special stuff, and then a couple example problems. So I'll make 7 videos, put it into one playlist, and I'll put it in Google Classroom. And I'll tell the students, I'll say, hey guys, make sure you take notes by hand onto a piece of paper, and then you're going to upload a picture of those notes whenever you get done. Now, they're going to go through and watch all those videos and take notes. That's how I verify that they actually watched it, that they take notes the whole time. Now, you can do Cornell notes. You can do any type of notes or documentation you want, either in a doc or by hand, because they can upload either into Google Forms or Classroom, okay? Now, what I would do then is as soon as we came into class, I did not reteach that stuff. I would maybe talk about some specifics if they had little questions, but what I would do is I would come in with the assumption that they had covered what they needed to and we're starting. Now, how do you hold kids accountable in class for that? You start the discussion, because you guys know as soon as somebody starts talking about what they know about something and you actually know about it, you know pretty quick if they know. Like I know if somebody knows Google, the first 20 seconds when they're talking about Google, okay? So you know if they know what they're talking about. And then what I would do is I would do something like this. I would share a Google slide with the whole class to edit. They're all editing the same slide. And they're all in there adding resources. I say, hey guys, you're going to present in 20 minutes. I need you to go make a slide about something related to what the videos were last night. Boom. The students are creating the presentation for you. They're doing the work. Me, I could have found those YouTube videos that weren't even my videos. I used mine, but I could have used anybody's. And then I'm not teaching them. Those videos deliver the initial curriculum. Then those students are actually going in and researching for like documenting out of their notes and off the internet. They're building the presentation. And then I'm going to make them stand up and present that in quick 1-minute bursts to their classmates. Think of that. You could do that virtually or in person. And then you have just held an entire lesson where you didn't even deliver the original content at any point. You had someone else do it, then you had the students do it, and then you curate it, you facilitate it, you add in stuff where you need to. If you do that, you're making the students do the work. One of the things with education is whoever is doing the work is doing the learning. Make them do the work. Don't let them just sit there and listen to you talk for an hour on a Google Meet. You're doing all the work. Make them do the work, okay? So there's an example of it. And then there's, if you click on Harrison Ford's head, that'll you can have a template of it, use that if you want. And then I've got a video on how to autoplay. This is a quick tool you can use. You can actually go in if you're in Google Slides, you can insert a video. Just go to insert video. Then when you have that video, you can go over here to format options. And I can actually have, while I'm presenting, if I was doing this in presentation mode, I can set it up to where the video starts playing automatically. I don't have to click anything. As soon as it goes to it, video plays. I could have it to where the video plays and I talk over it. I can mute the audio. Or I can actually select where it starts in the video. See this? I can drag it to wherever I want in the video. Say it's a 30-minute video, but I only want to use 2 minutes. I can go to wherever it is. I can say, use that time, boom. Then I can scroll a little bit over and now I want to use this time, boom. It's only going to play that, 34 seconds of the video. So that's a good way to do video playback if you need to. So that's all in there. And here's a video on how to do that. Google Sheets, we already covered. Bam, you're rolling. I want to get the videos. Here's some quick tutorials on Google Sheets. And I've got a dude throwing some bed sheets. I don't know why I did that. Now, I told you I'd talk about curriculum apps. I'm going to make it quick, but I've given you kind of the gist of it. Even though you guys do, I'm sure, lesson plans, you need a way to organize and build on what you're doing this year. This year is the end of last year, start of this year. This is not the season finale. This is not the last time you are going to use technology. This is what in the video game they call the penultimate episode. That is where something big, extremely big, the big thing happens for the series right before they kind of tie everything up with the finale. What we're hitting right now is the start. It's the penultimate episode of virtual learning. This is where it's happening. It's going to keep happening. Some may, but for the most part, we're going to start delivering education virtually as well. So if you're recording and organizing and documenting what you're doing now and putting that in a way where you can use it next year, 1 year from now, is going to either love or hate the version of you right now. Okay? Does anybody ever stay up too late and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be fine in the morning. And then the morning version of you hates the nighttime version of you because you stayed up too late? Yeah. So this is that example. You need to start recording what you're doing. You need to start organizing your resources that you have across the internet and do it in a way that works for you. This may work for you. It may not. You need to do it in a way that organizes it for you. So I've got an example here, but really I want you to create your own and give it a shot, delete it, adjust it, everything else. Nicholas K said the Red Wedding episode. No comment. That was, yeah, terrifying. So here we go. This is an example of it. What I would do is if I'm teaching a class, I'm going to put every resource. This Google Sheet now becomes the hub for my class. This is what links to everything that I'm doing. Okay. I've got weeks 1 through 36. My full year is in this one Google Sheet. I'm not searching and finding all these random lesson plans. I can have multiple pages, but I'm going to link everything in here. This is now my hub where I keep going out to all these things. So here's what I do. I keep it simple. And this is actually, when I became director of curriculum instruction for the district, this is my first act as director of curriculum instruction. I said, hey, none of our buildings are doing lesson plans anymore. I said, I don't want to know before the week starts what you're doing. I don't want you to send it to the principal. Here's why. Nobody has time to check those. Principals are too busy with everything else. They're not going through every teacher's, what are you doing on Tuesday in that class? They're not doing that. And so my thought is, I want you to record what you're doing at the end of the day. From 3:15 to 3:30, I want you to copy and paste the links, objectives, standards, any resources, websites, videos that you used. And then I want you to give a quick reflection. How did your day go? What advice, the reflection part, that's for you. That doesn't mean you can skip it. The reflection part, what advice can you give yourself 1 year from now on that lesson? That's what you want to say. That's what you should do. Now, the other thing I do really quick to keep my a mentality of stuff that I liked, if it's a good resource, I make it green. So at the end of the day, I put the resources in. I'm like, this resource was good. Boom, I'm going to make it green. If it was okay, I'll make it yellow. If it was not good, I'll make it red. Then a year from now, I know if I see something that's a red box, I need to find a new version. I need to find a better version of that. I've got to improve that resource. That's what I know. So that's what I would do. Cool. So If you want, make a copy, do your thing, Benz, Vets, Hummus, Jets. Okay. So you probably have a huge library of Word documents, PowerPoints, Excel, PDFs. You have a huge, huge library of all this stuff. You need to upload that to Google Drive. Don't rely on your school servers. You need to upload it to Drive. Now, you're thinking to yourself, Tyler, you're saying I got to go in. If I've got to go in, yes, I can take. Oh, Susan, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to leave that up. My bad. I'll take that down. Sorry about that. I don't know why I sang that. I could have just done it. Okay. You're thinking to yourself, I got to go into all these PowerPoints, all these presentations, everything that I'm doing, and I've got to throw that into Google Drive and then convert it over. No, you can have Drive do it for you automatically. You can go in, watch, do this before you upload all of your stuff to Google Drive. Do this. Go to Drive, go to the setting, the gear in the upper right, go to settings, and make sure this is turned on, convert uploads, and then hit done. Then what that's going to do is when you go to new and you go to folder upload, you can upload one folder that has every folder, doc, everything you've ever done. You can have it upload directly into there with all these subsequent folders. Everything will upload for you. Give it 10 minutes and it'll all be in there, and it'll automatically convert your Word stuff into docs, PowerPoint into slides, everything into everything else. So Cassie Webb said she saw the lesson plan sheet on TikTok last night. Hey, TikTok, Sir Tyler Tarver. Thanks, Cassie. 10 points to Gryffindor. So that's another tip. I've got the vast instructions on how to turn that on right here. Okay, cool. All right, we're in Google Classroom. Let's stretch. I'm stretching it out. I'm taking a quick stretch break. We're going to do Classroom and some video presenting options. I'm going to bounce around here because we don't have a lot of time left, and I want to talk about the stuff that you guys want, and we're going to do a lot of Q&A. The last 30 minutes, I'm only going to be answering questions and then showing you where to find stuff that you're and running through stuff that you care about. Okay. What's the difference between add shortcut and add to drive? I think when you add shortcut, that means it's already in your drive somewhere. It's probably already in there, and you're just adding a shortcut to somewhere else. Or maybe you can't actually add it in your drive because the owner hasn't given the capabilities. It's one of those two things. If you get a resource via Google, you could do it with this presentation right now. You can go to File, make a copy, and then you have it. No matter if I ever delete this, if I take away whatever, you can have your own copy. A lot of people, when I do this presentation in like a 6-hour PD, I tell them at the beginning, I'm like, guys, you're not going to use all this stuff. What I recommend, make a copy of this presentation at the beginning of today and delete stuff. Don't go in and highlight and try to remember. Delete stuff you know you'll never use. Keep the stuff you care about. And then you've just made your own presentation that's customized to you. So it's a good idea to do for students as well. Also, last, I want to show you this, then I'll move on. You can automatically make a copy of everything by sending it out. So when you click on my resources, it asks you to make a copy. All you do to do that is you find in the hyperlink where it says edit, you highlight from the E to the end and you type the word copy. Now, if you take that link, you can post that anywhere you want, send it to students, parents, whoever. It'll force them to make a copy of it when they get it. So there you go. I need to change that back to edit, and I think it's going to take me away from. Okay, good. I'm still in my presentation. I thought it was going to like reset my presentation, but it didn't. Why do I have two Google Classroom? That's dumb. Deleting that one. Okay, so in Google Classroom, I'm going to walk you through how I would post something to Google Classroom and a couple key features on there. I've got, like I said, I've got like an hour long. I've got resources on there for you. You don't have to search for it. I've made it very simple for you. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through what I would do, and I'm going to actually do one of those virtual bell ringers that we talked about. So let's walk through that in Google Classroom. So the web address for anything that is Google is whatever it is, .google.com. Yes, Rachel asked if we can look into video options. Absolutely. Let's do that. Can I post? I'm going to post one thing to the classroom, then we're going to skip to video options. Sound good, guys? Is that cool? Cool. Let's do it. Unless you guys all revolt and don't want to go through this classroom thing, then we can do it. Do y'all want to? If you want, I can skip classroom. But let's talk about, I'm going to go in. Oh, yeah. You can, okay. Rachel said that you can use this exact same format in Schoology, okay? I always want to call it Schoolology. That's not the right way to say it, right? It's Schoology. Okay. All right, so let's do this one post, and then we'll go and we'll do all the video stuff. The background, Leah, I'm using StreamYard.com, which I'm going to show you here in a second. And you can import backgrounds if you do the paid version. Free version, you have to use theirs, I think. So, so here we go. So I'm in here, I'm in Classroom, and I want to create a virtual bell ringer. Okay, so I'm going to go to Classwork, I'm going to go to Create, and then I'm going to go to Assignment. Okay, this same thing for Schoology. When you're posting this, you need to be very clear. Week 1. Okay, I'm going to skip it. I just want to say this one thing. This goes for Schoology as well. Week 1, Monday, bell ringer. You need to be, when you title stuff in Schoology or Classroom, you need to be so clear in how you do this stuff. You need to be so clear in how you label this stuff because it is for you in the future. You need to be able to find that resource every time you go put it in there, okay? So I'm going to show you, let's see, tarveracademy.com/quotes. So I'll use this as the bell ringer. Now, I've actually got the template of what to say right here if you want to just copy paste that. Be very clear in your instructions to your students. Then I need to add, and I want to add the YouTube link. Then you could just go in and you just right click on the link, copy link address, and then I can just post it directly in here. Oh, I didn't go to URL. Sorry. Boom. Go to URL, add. There you go. Now, here's what you do. And this is when you're scheduling stuff in Schoology or in Classroom. So I want to make it like 5 points because it's just my bell ringer. Now, here's the deal. I want it to go live at 9 a.m. and I want it to be closed at 9:15. This is my bell ringer. This is my check-in. I'm going to be calling students immediately at 9:15 that have not completed this because I need them to check in for the day because they don't need to fall a day behind. So when it's due, I'm going to make it due, let's say August 17th at 9:15 a.m. Okay? Boom. And then I want to put my topic. Now, I don't know how, are you guys doing topics? If you are, I've heard of schools that are doing it like tests, quizzes, homework, bell ringers, and they're organizing topics like that. Others are organizing by week. So they're having all their teachers say, everything that happens this week, topic is week 1, topic is week 2. However you guys want to do it at your district, either one sounds good. Okay, I'm going to say it's a bell ringer. Then I'm going to schedule it. I want it to go live the same day at 9 a.m. Boom. Now, that is now going to go live at 9 a.m. and cut off at 9:15 a.m. They have a 15-minute gap to get that in there. Okay, that's a good way to take attendance for all of that stuff. Now, thank you, Kimberly. Thanks for saying nice things about me. So I'm not above being praised. So here we go. Last thing I want to show you in Classroom, then we're doing video. You don't need, so those bell ringers are going to happen every day, especially if you're using a resource like my quote of the day or my math bell ringers or another YouTuber or something that you like. So here's what we got. You go to create, then go to reuse post. I don't want to start from scratch. Now think, most of you guys use reuse post when you're using stuff from your Google Classroom did last year. Think of stuff that you can reuse from what you just posted. I can reuse that bell ringer that I just posted, hit reuse, all the settings, all the stuff's still there. I just change it from, why did I put Monday twice? I should have put bell ringer. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I look dumb. I call it Tuesday now. And all I have to do is change out the video. I go to that, go to the second video, right click, copy link address, and add it in here. So that's how you could go in and post your entire week's worth of bell ringers. You can post your entire week's worth of bell ringers in like 10 minutes if you have a resource like mine or somebody else's. Just reuse, bam, bam, bam. If you spent 2 hours, you could use, because I've got 180 of those videos, you could take 2 hours and post your bell ringers for the entire year in a couple hours by doing this. And you wouldn't ever have to worry about bell ringers again. They would automatically take care of themselves. So, okay. Casey said she wants you to stay in Schoology for Streamline. Cool. So ignore everything I just said. But whatever I just said, use the practical stuff. Use the practical stuff of how I said scheduling and when it's due, and then copy pasting and reusing. I'm assuming Schoology has it on the reuse posts. Do all that in there, and then you can streamline all of your stuff. I do my stuff in bulk. Like I will literally go in and do bell ringers for 3 weeks, and then I know I don't have to worry about bell ringers for 3 weeks. And I just set a reminder on my phone 2.5 weeks from now to go in and make some more. So, okay, cool. All right, let's talk about video. We're jumping to video. I'm going to show you every way that you can do video in your class. So if you want more classroom stuff, go through this. I've got an example schedule. If you're like K through 3, this is an example schedule for your entire day if you want. That's slide 46. Okay, I'm skipping. Okay, we're going to go to YouTube. So I have been on YouTube for a hot minute. So what that means is I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of stuff nobody cares about, but I've also done some stuff that's come in handy when, I don't know, the whole world goes virtual and uses Google and you have 300 plus Google tutorials. It helps. Okay. So let's just walk through the different ways, different types of things that you can use. Um, you know what? Pause. In the chat, I want you for the next 30 seconds, I want you to go into the chat. Casey said all the Google products go in there. Tell me your favorite thing that you have heard today that you can apply to your classroom. Something, a little tip, it can be anything big, small. Tell me something that, please tell me. And if don't say nothing, you're one of those kids. Don't do that, okay? While you're doing that, I want to see if I can find something real quick that I think you guys would like. Okay, I can sing for you guys. What song do you want me to sing? I want to dance with somebody. Nope, that's not good. Don't sing that. Donna Lewis. I love you always, forever, near and far, closer together. Sorry, I know what I'm trying to find. I did a little presentation for East. I did a thing for East a while back. And there was a slide I made, and I never converted it over to this one, and I need to put it in here. Where is it? It's like a cheat sheet for what to use. Boom. Ah, yes, got it. Okay. So did you know that you can copy slides out of another Google slide presentation into a new one? All you do is hit Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac, and then I'm about to paste this slide in here. That's not what just happened. I just did the wrong thing. Good job, Tyler. Okay, so I'm just going to screenshot it. I'm going to screenshot this. Oh, it's because that wasn't shared with me. Hold on. Let me share it with that. Keep telling me what if keep bragging about the things I taught you. No, tell me stuff that if there was anything that I did that was helpful for you, do that now. So, okay, I'm going to go in here while you're doing that. I want to grab that presentation that I did because I have a cheat sheet for which video to use in which situation. Okay, so watch this. Remember, I'm gonna start Q&A real soon. Because well, I mean, we do Q&A the whole time, but let's see. This is a presentation I did for East. I just forgot because I forgot to copy this slide over, and I made this slide specifically for East. And I've been wanting to put it in here, but I forgot to. Watch. Okay, so I'm going to copy this entire slide. I clicked on the left on the thumbnail, copy, and then I'm just going to hit paste. Bam! Yes, did it. Got it. Take that, Trebek. I want to keep original slide styles. That's just my choice. Keep original. Okay. So here's my thoughts. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Start bouncing back and forth, guys. I know this is the penultimate part. Learn something every day. Penultimate part of what we're talking about, because you guys are going to be doing virtual and you're doing in person, or you might be all virtual at some point. So you need to know video is the best form of getting that out there. Yes, you can do books. Written is great. Video is good because you can incorporate a lot into it, and they can also see you and get to know you and your personality. So here we go. I'm going to walk through these things, and then we're actually going to go in and look at them. Number one, if you just need the students to get the information, if I just need students to learn slope, there's a couple ways I can do that, okay? Easiest way, so I'm going to go to YouTube, and then I just say, hey, these students need to learn slope. I'm going to go in, I'm going to search for slope. I'm going to click a couple videos, and I'm going to find people that it helps, and I can toss those links in there. Copy link address, or I can bounce in here and I can create a playlist. I'm going to show you how to make a playlist. So say I go in here and I want more than one video for them to do it. From here, to make a playlist, go underneath the video, and you'll see these 3 lines with a plus sign. You're going to click on those 3 lines with a plus sign, and you're going to say, create new playlist. It's the easiest way to make a playlist. And then I would just say, name is slope stuff. Create. Boom. If you already had a playlist created, I could have just clicked the checklist. And then I can go find other videos on slope, And then I can add them in there too. Just click this. The one I just created is going to be there. Slope stuff, boom, added to the playlist. I can go down here. I can find another video. Boom. I can click the playlist. Boom. Boom. Then I'm just going to click boom. Done. Now I have a playlist. Now you're thinking to yourself, Tyler, that's great, grand, and wonderful. I just made a playlist. How do I find the link to that playlist? When you're signed into your YouTube, in the upper left, there's 3 little lines. Do you see these little guys? Looks like a off-brand Adidas logo. You're going to click on that. This is where you can get to your subscription. So if you subscribe, which you should, hit the red subscribe button underneath here. Hit subscribe under here. You could find me and my channel here later. It's like you're archiving it for later use if you need to. Playlists are right underneath it. See right here? These are all my playlists. That's your navigation over here to the left. It's your navigation pane, P-A-N-E. Click this, go to, what did I call it? Slope stuff. Am I on the right thing? Where is it? Oh, I got to hit refresh. Sometimes you got to hit refresh if you create a new playlist. Now I'm going to try it again. There it is. Slope stuff. Click it. Boom. I could take this link and I can paste that in my Google Classroom as an assignment, and I could tell them to watch all these videos. That way you're not posting like 8 different video links in the same assignment. So, cool. Okay, sorry, I read the chat and it distracted me. Okay, so you can do that. So you can you can find and upload one YouTube video, or you can do a playlist. Now, option number 2, let's say you want to present the information. Now, I'm getting my doctorate right now, humble brag. I'm getting my doctorate right now at Harding, and I am writing my dissertation on how to engage and keep the attention of learners through educational videos. And that's across generation. Like, I want to know how to keep your attention, whether you're a boomer, millennial, Gen Z, or Gen X. I want to be able to keep your attention in video the way you like to consume it. So what do they enjoy? So right now, what I have to do is I have to go in and read a lot of research studies on what they're finding out with regards to what keeps the attention of people in online video. One of the things I'm finding is that students are connecting and staying on videos longer if it is presented by someone they know or someone they're familiar with. So what that means, you have 2 options. Either the best one is you're on the video, you're teaching, you're pre-recording, you're making videos of you talking about it. So you're actually genuinely their teacher, and you're the one connecting with them in the chat. Now, for many reasons, you might not be able to make your own videos. You might not be able to, or not want to, or feel comfortable putting your videos out there. That's fine. There are other people that do that. What I recommend, though, find a YouTuber that is making videos that you like and try to make them consistent. That lets your students build that consistency with them. And then you just make jokes. Like, you're just like, oh yeah, that's Mr. Tarver. He's teaching us geometry. And y'all know Mr. Tarver. Like, he's like, I think he's probably my second cousin. We're friends. I know he's from Arkansas, but we forgive him and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, don't forgive him. Arkansas is awesome, whatever. And so you can make connections with these YouTubers. And I'll tell you this, most of them are pretty cool. I've met a lot of them. A lot of the ones that I recommend, I haven't met a lot of the YouTubers, but I met a lot of the education YouTubers I recommend, and they're pretty chill. They're pretty cool. You could always go in and like just ask, say, hey, would you jump in with my class and talk to them? I've got classes over the years because I've had geometry videos on the internet for 12 years. I have a ton of classes. That have like hit me up and be like, hey, we watch your videos every day for math or for Google or whatever. Would you jump in and do like a Q&A with them? Every time I say, absolutely, I would. I love doing that stuff. And most YouTubers are pretty cool and they would do that as well. So it's a good way to connect if you can find a consistent YouTuber that you can connect with and use their videos if you don't want to do your own. Fun fact, and this is just because it's on my mind because I'm doing a lot of studies on researches, is the top two reasons students stop watching videos online. And this is not even close. Like, if this is the bar graph, everybody else is over here. These 2 are way down here, okay? The top 2 reasons students and people in general stop watching a video that is trying to educate them is because either 1, they are confused, so they don't understand what's happening, or 2, they don't see how it applies to them. So as you're teaching your classes, I've tried to do it a little bit here. I keep tossing links up. I keep repeating myself on what we're doing. I don't want you guys to be lost because I know I talk fast. I know I'm covering a lot. I don't want you guys to be lost while I'm teaching you this because then you start checking out. You need to continue to go in and you need to continue to go in and remind them of what you're doing, why you're doing it. That's how it applies to them. What and why, always. Okay. Then you can work on the how. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? Not confused how it applies to them. What and why. So do that, and you're going to be successful in what you're doing, I think. You present the information. Okay, let's talk through a couple ways to do this. You can do YouTube live, and you can do it via phone or laptop. So I've got a YouTube instructional video on how to go live on your phone right here. Okay, so if you click that, it'll take you to a video on how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do it on your laptop so that you can see me walk through the process because I need to make a video on this. I haven't done it. Okay. All right, here we go. So, okay, sorry, I keep bouncing over reading the chat. Don't read the chat, Tyler. So, we're making a live video. I'm on YouTube. I can go anywhere on YouTube. At the top right, do you see these little video cameras? See the little chicken nugget right there? The little video camera. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say, "Go live." It's that easy. It's that easy on your phone too. Okay, so either one. Now, why do I recommend going live as opposed to like pre-recording? Well, one, you get the chat feature, but number two, and this is a big one, you're not taking up a bunch of gigs worth of storage on your phone. You're allowing YouTube to store it for you. They're going to store it all on their servers, so you don't have to worry about packing up your phone. So even if you're not going to roll it live in the chat, you could do a YouTube live and just record the video on YouTube, and then you could share it with your students afterwards. So just an idea. So let's create a title. This is test for y'all. Okay, I'm going to talk through a couple of these settings. You ready? Public. That means anybody can watch it, join it, and see it. Unlisted. That means only people that you give the link to can see it. So this is if you want to keep it private just for your class, make it unlisted. And then you just toss the link into Schoology or Classroom or whatever. Now, private means that nobody can find it except for you. It's a good way to just store it. So say you just want to record the lessons and you might use them, you might not. Do a private recording, okay? I'm going to make it public because, I mean, who cares? So I can schedule for later. So say you wanted to go and schedule all 5 of yours coming up for the next week. You could schedule it and then grab the link and say, hey, this is where we're going live. And it's just for those people, if you're like an Enneagram person, this is like a 1. The person likes to plan and prep 2 or 3 weeks out. I am not. I am what you call a fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy. I like to call it improv to be a little more fun and quirky. Hey, if you're watching and you do Enneagram, tell me your Enneagram number in the chat. I'd love to hear it. I actually started a series called Enneagrams for Educators. I only got about halfway done and then COVID hit and I was trying to do a bunch of Google stuff, but tell me yours. I'm a 3-wing 2. So achiever with a helper. So that's fun. I just think that's stuff's neat. You can learn a lot about somebody's personality in there. So yeah, your YouTube account is your Google account. I saw somebody say that. All you need is a Gmail, and you can have your school Gmail or personal Gmail. That creates the YouTube account. Now, a lot of people ask this: should we? If somebody asked a good question, I'm going to address that. Let me grab that and toss it in, and this is going to be the next question we're going to answer. I forgot what I was about to say, so I'm just going to bounce off of it. I want to answer this question though. Start with private. Yes. Somebody said, if you start with it as private, can you change it public later? Yes, you can. You can make it public, unlisted, private. You can switch between all 3 at any time. Boom. Okay. So, I know what I was going to say. People always want to know, they're like, should I make videos for my classes under my personal Gmail or my school Gmail? Now, your school may have different policies and I'm not sure. My recommendation, if you're going to make something where you're teaching people, not like, oh, my students are on the video, but like where you're making a video like I'm doing right now. If you make a video like this, I would do that on your personal account because you have more control on the life of that video. You can choose to, if it blows up and people watch it, you have access to it. If 2 years from now, 10 years from now, you don't like that, you can take it down. When you leave it on your school account, you're giving someone else the ability, the permission, the access to do whatever they want with the video. And usually after teachers leave a district, 6 months later, we usually cut the accounts off. So It's good to do it on your own if you're making it. Now, if it's like, hey, this is where I'm going to store our Google Meets, or like videos that students make, or interactive, or my community videos that are just directed for my class, just do that on your personal one, or I'm sorry, on your school one if you want. But that all depends on your district and what their policies are. So cool, 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 cool. Sweet. So let's do, okay. So let's go live. Where are we? Nope, I'm clicking on the wrong screen. Here we go. So let's go live. Somebody asked, should I do live versus Zoom or Meet? Great question. And that's what you got to think through before you go live or you do Zoom or Meet. One, you got to think of what you're presenting. Is it just you talking? That changes what you're doing, or are you doing a presentation? Then you got to think, how do I want my students to interact with me? That's the most important question. If you want your students to be able to jump in and talk and join the conversation, Zoom and Meet. I would use Meet. I don't use Zoom. Use Meet, okay? If you want your students to jump in and start talking, use Google Meet. That's what you should use. It's a conversation between everybody. And you can record that to show later, and you can present your screen, okay? But you're gonna have the students' faces. So that's not something you might wanna put on the internet, like on YouTube, as access for anybody if it's got students' faces. Now, if they sign something or whatever, then you can, but that's something to keep in mind. If you are gonna be presenting and you don't need them to jump in and start chatting, like this, especially when we first started, I know before everybody had to bounce out, you don't, it would have been, when we had 300 people in here, it would have been unmanageable for me to do this presentation with 300 people. Because y'all know, we would have spent the first 45 minutes telling people to go on mute. Okay. Like that would have been like, okay, mute your camera. Mute. All right. Hey, blah, blah. You're taking all that in. Now, there are a lot of times with students, you want that interaction. You want that Q&A, that back and forth. You need that almost daily, in my opinion. But if you are presenting the information, you could do this. I've been talking to you guys in the chat the whole time. You've been able to give input, you've been able to talk, you've been able to guide my teaching in the chat. You can do that if you do a YouTube live, and you don't get as like, you don't have to worry about all the other stuff, the issues that come with all the other faces. So I'm gonna say, no, it's not made for kids. I'm gonna look at more options. It's picking what I want to do at all these. I'm just gonna hit next. It's gonna get a thumbnail. This is, got my thumbnail. Now, a lot of people want to know, well, how do I share that with my class? One, you could just tell them to subscribe to your YouTube channel, and then you just tell them to go to your YouTube. That becomes a procedure. They know to go to the YouTube at 9 a.m. every day because that's when you're rolling this mug. Okay. Now, you hit share right here. Do y'all see this? I haven't gone live yet. So I can hit share, and I can copy this link, and then I can go over into Classroom. No, or yours is Schoology. I forgot how to spell Classroom. So go in here, you can go to Schoology, wherever it is you're posting it, and then you can post that link. I can go to stream, I could say link, or I should do it right here, link, and yours is through a different platform. I get that, going live, hit post. Now I'm rolling back over to there, and I go live. Now I'm actually live with you guys, and I'm live on this other channel at the same time. What's up? So I'm rolling live. This is it. Now you can see my screen. You see this over here on this bar? This is the chat. This is where I can say, hey guys, I can talk to my students. I can take links to stuff, so I could go find this presentation. Boom, I can toss this in here. Boom, toss that in. I can toss in links. I can toss in resources. I can chat. They can talk. They can toss in resources. What I would do, you know how I made Casey and Rachel the moderators? You guys, oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Good call. They said switch your screen. My bad. There we go. That better? There it is. So whenever, like I made Rachel and Casey the moderator, I saw Rachel's comment because I made her the moderator, and her text, her name is blue, so I can see her comments easier. She can also delete, block. She could put you guys in timeout if she wanted to. If one of you guys are getting rowdy, then she could go in and do that. She could make you guys blocked. All right. So now there you go. I'm still live on this. I can see how many people are in here. I can see how long I've been going live. You can go there, post. I can see how many likes I've gotten. All of this is from here. Now, here's where I would use YouTube Live. If it's you talking, if it's me and I'm talking, I'm chatting, It's if you're not showing your screen because they don't have access on here for you to just like share your screen. I'm just presenting. Now, if you're in front of a dry erase board, boom. Brrr. I know some teachers, what they're going to do, if they're doing virtual, they're going to do YouTube Live because it's the easiest. They're going to go live. They're going to they bought like a handheld dry erase board that they can write on. And they can do this. They can write stuff on it. They can show, all right, draw your A's, draw your B's. All right, there you go. And then that's it. This is just things. Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop this. So I'm gonna say now again, even though I'm live, I can still click this little arrow right here and I can share it and go live at any point. All right. I guess I am mirrored. So you can copy that link and send it out still, even though I'm going live. So you can make this a conversation. It doesn't have to be just like, here I am, boom, 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 boom. So there we go. End stream. I'm going to say I ended. I think this went public. I can edit it later. I can dismiss. I'm dismissing that. Boom. So that's YouTube Live. Now, you can do that from your phone as well. It's just as easy. And I've got a link on how to do that. Okay. It's telling me that I can schedule streams. Cool. Thank you for letting me know. All right. No. Shannon asked if you do that with your whiteboard, is it mirrored? No, it's not. We tried that yesterday in something. It's mirrored. Here's why it's mirrored is because I'm doing a screen share of it. So when you do a live, you're just going to be straight up. You're going to be direct. Oh, sorry. I didn't know I had a question up. Okay, there you go. Thank you guys for letting me know. I didn't know that it popped up there. Jamboard is a really good one. Do you guys have Jamboard? Casey, Rachel, do you guys have Jamboard turned on for the district? I know somebody asked that earlier. Yes, Dawn, you're not going to be backwards. You are because I'm reflecting my screen off of it. That it's usually just plays whatever it sees as a regular camera. It doesn't mirror it. Okay, it's because I'm doing a screen share of it. That's why it is. So here we go. We're still rolling through the different options for this. I'm going to click this. Man, I could not have made this text any smaller. Why is it so small? Oh, it's because I was trying to fit everything in. All right, cool. So here we go. I'm going to make that. Sorry, it's just bothering me. I'm a little bit OCD on this stuff. Well, I just messed it up. So I'm going to fix it later. Okay, man. There we go. Command Z is your best friend. Okay, so you want to present the information, you can use YouTube Live or StreamYard. StreamYard.com. StreamYard.com. Now, when you create this, you can create a broadcast and then you can connect. They have a paid version, but you can connect to your YouTube account for a free one. Michael just asked a really good question. Is the chat history for a live video saved? Yes, it is. And I'm going to show you how to get to it. Okay. So StreamYard. I use StreamYard when I want to present my screen. It is my favorite way. There's multiple ways to do it. You could do a Google Meet and share your screen. I like StreamYard when I'm doing like a YouTube Live style where there's a chat, but I want to present what I've got on my screen. You connect to your YouTube, give it a title. You can say day 1, week 2, Mr. Tarver kindergarten. Oh, am I gonna spell kindergarten right? Kindergarten? Garden? It's not garden. Garten. I say garden. It's garten. Man, I always get that confused. There you go. I can create the broadcast. It's gonna go live in StreamYard. I hit Enter Broadcast Studio. I add myself to it, so I can add that to the stream. Then I could even go in and share my screen. I can pick which tab. I'm going to pick like a Chrome tab. Let's say I wanted to present this. Hit share. Boom. I'm actually doing 2 StreamYards at once from 2 different accounts. That's wild, y'all. Technology. So there you go. And this is what it looks like for me. Like this, what I'm seeing is something that looks like this on your side. Okay. So now I'm going to, I haven't gone live yet. Up here in the upper right, I say go live. Go live. Boom. I'm going live on 2 different of those. Okay. Beth asked, is there an easy way to transfer videos that you've already made on your school account and personal accounts? You can't transfer those, okay? Or else I would change my education YouTube account because it has some dumb email address I made 13 years ago called like whatthejazzguy@gmail.com. It's ridiculous, but I'm stuck with it. What you have to do is you got to go find those videos. You need to download them off of YouTube and then re-upload them to your new account. That's how you can get it to a new one. And it starts from 0 on the views, which stinks. Beth Hendricks. Oh yeah, I just answered it. Beth, somebody said they asked a good question. I agree. Beth, that's what you got to do. You've got to download those videos and then re-upload them to the new account. You can't just transfer them. That's why it's really important that you choose. It's very important which account you choose to upload to, because there's not an easy way to swap those over. Mario said that Michael asked a great question twice. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with all the questions, but you know, they bouncing out. So is the chat history saved? Yeah, I did answer that. That's a good question, Michael. I did answer that earlier. Yes, you can see the chat later, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we go. We're going to get to it. We're working our way down the list. So we did 1, get the information. Just go grab a YouTube video and post the link. You present the information. StreamYard and YouTube Live. That allows them to talk in the chat. 3, you pre-record the information. Okay, so this is where I'm going to show what Michael's talking about. So you want to pre-record the information. So you don't want to go live. You want to pre-record it. 1, you could just record it as a private video in YouTube Live or StreamYard, and then you could make it public whenever you want to. Okay, so next. What was it? YouTube video upload. You could just record on your phone. The camera on your phone is perfectly fine. It is a good camera. Okay, quick tip: when you're recording yourself, do the eye level. Don't go down here, and it's going to look like my dad the first time he signed on Facebook. Hey, I don't know if this is working. It's like a terrible angle. This is like a bathroom selfie. Don't do that. That's a MySpace profile. Eye level. You want to talk clearly. The other thing is, look at the camera. Here's the deal, guys. How many photos have you taken where it looks like you're kind of like gazing off into space? Or how many Zoom meetings have you had where students are like looking here? And they're like, yeah, here's what I got for the day. Know where the camera is on your computer or your phone. And here's why. Students know when you're talking to them. Right now, if you guys are watching this, it looks like I'm looking at you directly in your eyes. It looks like I'm talking to you. You know that I'm talking to a group, or maybe you're watching this later. You're talking to pre-recorded. Here's the deal. I'm talking to you, and the feeling on the other side of that phone is that you are talking to your students. Even though you're just talking to your phone or a computer or a camera, they're going to feel like you're talking to them. They have YouTubers that they feel like they are best friends with they've never met, because that YouTuber looks them dead in the eye and says, you can do this. You're great. You can be the change you want to see in the world. It's all through there. So now, that's my thought on this. So look at the camera. Now, here's what, who was asking this? Michael asked. He said, can I view it later? Yes, you can. So let's go to YouTube, and I'm going to show you how to view the chat later afterwards. So let's go to, I've got it on Java Academy. Did I not end that live? Oops, that's me. My bad. So let's go to videos. Okay. So here is here's one I did. I did a StreamYard for this. Okay. Now it's going to pop up my chat right here. Most of the time it looks like this. When you go to something that was like a live video, you get all this. I'm going to like that, of course. You've got comments down here and all that. Look in the upper right-hand corner. It says show chat replay. Okay. This is for live videos and for what we're about to talk about, which is a YouTube premiere. So you click, boom, add chat person, and there you go. Rhonda's yelling at me. I'm going to answer it. Let me finish this question real quick. So top chat replay, go here. You can go to live chat replay. So now when I hit play, watch, it's filling in all these people as they were talking. Okay, so you can go in and see. If you want to check roll, you could ask your students, hey guys, check in the chat. Every time I ask a question, you got to say it, or I'm going to assume that you left the computer. You could do that and have them answer, and then you could go back and make sure and check and see who was there. So if you do a live chat, it's a good way to record and see who was actually there and who was participating. Okay, somebody said, okay, so Rhonda said, how do you add an additional person? In StreamYard, it's really easy. So so if I'm in StreamYard, this is still going live. I forgot to shut it off. My bad. So I'm in here. I'm gonna enter the broadcast studio. Okay, so I'm going live right now. You can invite people right here. So I can hit invite, and then I can just copy this link, and then I just email it to them. You can, I think in StreamYard can have up to like 8 or 10 people, um, 8 or 10 people who are added on to who are added on and like as people that you can pick. And then in StreamYard, you could choose down here who to accept and who to decline out of the StreamYard presentation. And then you can ask them to share their screen. So that's a really easy way. You can also have the students share their screen in Google Meet. Google Meet's going to have pretty much everything that we're talking about. It's just different because you're going to see their faces. And so you have now have that as a part of what you're doing. Okay. So I ended that broadcast. So there you go. Okay, I was like, who? I was like, that looks familiar. It's because it's an old video. All right, now I want to show you a YouTube Premiere. So YouTube Premiere, I've got a how-to right here on how to do a Premiere. So you can just click that link. But I want to show you what it looks like for a YouTube Premiere. A YouTube Premiere means instead of me just recording a video of myself and then uploading it, I can actually go in, pre-record a video of myself, and then I can schedule it to go. Essentially, the video, pre-recorded video, goes live at a certain time. So you could go in, film a 45-minute lesson of you teaching, schedule it to go live at Tuesday at 9 a.m., and then there's a live chat. It would be like everybody walking into a movie theater and you see what's happening as it's going premiere. Now, after it ends, that video is available like a regular YouTube video. It's just while it's initially going live, it's streaming. This is really cool because you could record the lesson, but then you're active in the chat. You're asking questions. You're passing links. Just think, if I had pre-recorded this, all the time you guys are asking for links, I could have literally just rolling. I would have been able to talk in the chat because you're not chatting because it's pre-recorded, but I would have been talking, being like, hey, do this, do this, do this. Here's an idea. Walk up this, do this. And then while it's live, I can be dropping links in. So it's almost like you have a co-teacher. It's you, and then you're your co-teacher. So I'm going to show you what that looks like as a Premiere. So here we go. I did one with my buddy Josh. We did innovation in education. I went to his office. We recorded the video on some cameras. I edited it. And I'm gonna wait on this ad to end. It's a stretch break. Get some water. We only got like 20 more minutes. So start thinking of your questions. Start thinking of your questions. And then I'm gonna ask for them here in a second. Here we go. So innovation in education. I pre-recorded this video with my buddy Josh. I can see the chat replay right here. See, boom. All these teachers, I did a conference back in the first week of June, and teachers were jumping in. If you were at the Baller Conference, tell me in the chat if you showed up at that. I'd love to know. But we did a conference for a bunch of teachers, and Josh and I were talking about innovation stuff. And this video is playing. I'm dropping links in. I'm talking in the chat. It's like I can become my own moderator because I pre-recorded it. So that's a good way to deliver all of the information. A lot of teachers are doing this, guys. They'll go in and they'll pre-record the information. They'll schedule it as a premiere to go live at 9, from 9 to 9:30. And then, so the video's playing, it's rolling, no distractions, no stuff, but the chat's happening and they're answering questions on their keyboard in the chat. So it's like the video keeps rolling, but then the same teacher can be throwing stuff in the chat. Then they say, okay, guys, as soon as this ends, I'm going to answer questions for anybody that needs help on Google Meet. Go to your classroom or Schoology for you guys. Click on your Google Meet. You're good to go. And then boom, they jump in. So that's one way to do it as well. Whew, I'm talking a lot. Now, Google Meet. Have you guys used, I'm assuming, did you use Zoom or Meet? Tell me in the chat, did you use Zoom or Meet whenever you guys went live in March? So, or not live, but virtual. So I'm going to go to meet.google.com. I'm going to start a meeting. Now, and I don't know how it works with Schoology, okay? So I apologize. Again, I'm not a Schoology expert. I've heard good things. We almost used them. We went with a different LMS 7 or 8 years ago when I was a principal, and we went through a couple of them. We didn't use it, but I've heard good things, and I've heard it's only gotten better. So you can actually pre-record. Oh, yes, Rachel said Screencastify is awesome. You know what, Rachel? I'm going to toss that in here. Pre-record Screencastify. And that's not the link to it, so I'm going to unlink that. Okay, none. Okay, actually. Okay, cool. So Screencastify is a really good option. I think there's a time limit. I think it's only like 5 minutes. Okay, so good. All of you guys use Meet. Great. That's good. I recommend Meet, to be honest with you. everybody was asking for Zoom tutorials back when that happened. And it's like, I thought about it because I was like, oh, I could get a lot of views. But then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to pander to Zoom. I believe in Google and I've used Zoom and I don't like it better. So I'm not going to like jump to it because I think I like Meet. So if you're in, and again, I don't know how Schoology works, so I apologize if I'm speaking out of turn, but with Classroom, Meet is now integrated into your classes. So you can have that Meet link connected to Classroom right there. And that is your continual Meet link. Now, the question people always ask is, can students jump in there whenever it's not? Yes, they can. Now, you can take the setting off where they can't see the link, but students can be in here when you're not in here. Google is updating that then like in the next month or two. That is one of the updates coming to Meet. So they're about to do that to where you can close it when you leave and it's only open when you're in there. Okay. So that's how you can get to a Meet link. I'm going to go here. I'm going to create a nickname. Hey, hit continue. And I'm going to go live on Google Meet. Now I could copy the link. I could share it. However you want to get that, post that in Schoology. I'm not sure what you guys are doing. So here we go. This is how you present your screen. You just hit present now and you choose what you want to present. I'm not going to do it because it's going to look like Inception if I do that on the screen, but it's very easy to present and you can have students present. They click, present, boom. It's very easy, very collaborative. Just know what you're getting. So next, this is a new feature. I've never tried this till recently. You can turn on captions. And what it's going to do, it's going to read what I'm saying and it's going to start putting that on the screen in real time. I say that it's going to do that. It's not doing it yet. Where is it? It's been working every time I've done this, but for some reason, it's not showing up yet. Usually it shows text underneath here. That's why I did this black bar. And it'll start doing what you're saying. So that's a good way to be a distraction or use it if it helps your students. So, man, that stinks. I thought that would work. Now, how do you record Meet? Boom, you click those three dots, three collinear points, if you will. You go up here, go to record meeting. Okay, so I hit record meeting. It's like, are you sure? Yeah. So look in the upper left-hand corner. It's going to tell me when it's recording. Boom, it's recording. It's recording my Google Meet. Oh, look, the captions are showing up. There it is. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm recording a Meet. If I had other people in here, I could show you their screens. Also, Google is expanding. They've got the options right here for the layout. You can go to tiled view. I don't have any students in here, so it's not going to do it. Used to, you had to download the Google Meet grid view. Now, Google is also rolling out in the next month or two. It's going to do up to 49 people in grid view within their own system. So that's another update they're making. So that's really cool. Also, Schoology, and I'm asking because I don't know. I was going to ask you guys. So you guys can answer my question. Google this week just rolled out assignments. It's like they're able to do assignments. Is that Schoology has access to that, correct? It looked really cool. I watched some of the tutorials on it. We don't use we use Google Classroom as our LMS, so I didn't get to try it out, but I heard it was really good. So somebody asked if the record button's not there. Yes. So here's why. If you can't choose the record option, it's either because you're not on your school account, because you can't do it from a personal account unless you pay extra for it. And if you want to hit record on your school account, your admin at your school has to have that turned on, that option. Okay. So I stop recording. Now, a lot of people want to know what happens to the recording. I actually just made a video on this and put it on my Instagram. So at Tyler Tarver, if you want to see that. So what it does is it goes into your drive and Google automatically creates a folder called Meet Recordings. Boom. And then that's where they go. It's not in here yet, but this would pop in and it's on the date. I changed the name of these. It doesn't automatically label the name for you, but then you could take that link, you could right click, share, and you can share it with your class, or you can go straight into Schoology and grab that and toss it in as a resource for your class that missed that day, or if they want to watch it and go back. Because that's one of the great things about doing this on video is that students can go back and watch it. You guys can go back and watch this. You can go back and see this. So, okay, so I ran through a bunch of stuff. I've got literally 112 extra slides on here. Okay, so Rachel said that y'all's is turned on for your school. That's great. Okay, now I know I've missed some comments. I know I've missed some questions. I've tried to grab them when I could, but I've been trying to get through the information. The last 15 minutes, I want to answer any questions you have. And also, you can always text me questions. If I can't answer them, text them to this number. after you text teacher. And then you can text me and ask me stuff and I'll answer it. It's a one way and I will only respond to you. Okay. It'll send out bulk messages, but I can individually respond. So I'm going to answer questions the rest of the time we have today together. So, okay. Kathy asked a good question, is what Howard said. Let me find it. Can captions be in Spanish? I don't know. That's a great question, Kathy. Let's look. Let's see if we can find it. Let's pull up our Meet again. Man, that would be so cool, Kathy. Let's try. Okay, so I'm going to click captions. I don't see any settings for that. Let me see if it's over here. Settings. No, that's for my video. I don't see any option where I can do captions. Just an initial look. I don't see it, but you might Google search that and see. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. You can ask questions about anything you want. Doesn't have to be me. It can be literally anything. Yes, Megan, I agree. That is a great feature for student impairments. I completely agree. Oh, Megan said that. Sorry. Thank you, Jessica. And you have access to this. Remember, if you text that thing, I'm going to send it out to you guys later today. I'll send the link to the presentation and I'll send you the link to the video. Okay. So Google Meet is great. Okay. So Google Meet, Rachel said this. Rachel, I'm not sure you can elaborate in the chat. You said Google Meet is free for up to 5-minute videos. I know for a district, and I don't know if that's enterprise or regular, or maybe it's just a temporary thing, they allow unlimited time. I did a literal 7-hour PD and recorded it in Google Meet through my account that I have. So I have not hit that limit on Google Meet unless that's a setting, or if Google, I think at the end of September, they're supposed to take away some features unless you're an enterprise, and I don't know what features they are, so it might pull it away. And then 5 minutes on Screencastify. Screencastify is awesome. I used it 5 or 6 years ago. Another good app, and I linked these in the presentation. If you're using an iPad, I like Notability. If you're wanting to screen record or present, Explain Everything is a good app for showing what's on your screen, importing photos, writing, and then exporting to YouTube. Also, Screencastify is really cool, and it's gotten so much better since I used it then. Okay. Put the number. Yes, I'll put the number back up. Text me questions. Text me. I'll send you any links to anything I have, and I'll send out free resources in the future. Okay. Beth, I don't know if you guys are enterprise. That's a good question. So Brittany said, is it true Google Meet start charging for recording? I don't know. I think it's one of the features that they are looking at, and they wouldn't charge teachers. They would charge your district, and that's a district choice. I don't know the price. I don't know. And Schoology may do something that is equivalent to that you don't need it. Not that is helpful for recordings. That changes, guys. If they take away recordings and Meet, you've got to change how you teach your students. You would need to do like a YouTube live so they could have access to the video later as a recording. So just work around that if you need to, based on what you have. If you want to show your hands, April, I like YouTube Live, Screencastify, because it shows you, or Google Meet. Those are all three good options for showing your hands. If it's just your hands and you don't need a screen, just do YouTube Live because it's the easiest. Do I have any icebreakers or games to play with a class for the first day of school? Yes, Lacey, I do. And I've got a link I could show you, but it would take up a lot of time. Go to tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher. And that's where I have that cheat sheet. It's under resources for you. I've got it under, there's getting to know you form, and then about our class Google slide. I would do both of those the first day of class and all of your classes. Okay, that's good. And also it gets them reps on collaborating, creating slides, all of that. So I just got notified by email that my Meet recording is up in my drive. So it emails you and notifies you when it's done uploading. Okay, so I'm going to bounce back and catch some more questions. Kristen asked on Google Meet, how can you hide the link? So there's a setting on Meet. Oh, no, it's in Classroom. Ooh, I don't know how that's going to transfer to Schoology, but in Classroom, when I go in here and then I go to Settings, I scroll down and it talks about create a Meet link, and you take the visible off. Okay, and you can make that where the students can't see it outside of it. If you turn it on, they can see it in the header up here. Okay, and again, I don't know how that works with Schoology, but that's what I know about that. Now, Meet is updating to make it to where you can literally, they can have the link, but that closes out when you leave the class. They're updating that. I saw it on their announcement yesterday. Rachel's going to find out about Enterprise. It may be super expensive. I have no clue. So don't judge y'all if y'all don't use it. Tyler Willis, apparently you asked a question. What did Tyler, who was it to? Laura Campbell? Let me find Laura's question. Laura, where are you, Laura? I don't see it. Just, oh, there you are. Do you use Google Voice for your classroom? Oh, yes. Oh, guys, Google Voice. Okay. I'm sorry. I know we're almost at time, but that's an app you should download. It's in my presentation. If you want a description on it, you should download Google Voice because it is an app on your phone, and Google will create a free phone number for you that people can call, and it goes through your phone. So when you give your number out to students, parents, whoever, you can when you give that out to them, it's not your real number. You can, if you get like a crazy parent that's texting you at like 2 a.m, you could just delete the number, make a new one, and share it with everybody but Johnny's daddy. It's taking him fishing. Okay, you can share it with anybody else you want. Okay, so that's another option for what you could do. Oh, and this is the best part about Google Voice. If someone calls you on that number, on the keypad, you tap the number 4. What that does is a voice will come on your phone and say, "This call is now being recorded." It records the whole conversation. And then when you hang up, it emails you a link to the audio file. So every conversation you have with the parent, with a student, as soon as they call you, you hit the number 4, "This call is now being recorded." It starts recording all of it. And you have that for documentation. So get Google Voice. That's huge, guys. Sorry. All right, I'm scrolling down. I'm going to answer questions. School status keeps a copy of it for you in your records. I don't know what school status is, but it sounds great. Okay, sorry. Oh, okay. Then it sounds like y'all have something. So I just gave you a pitch on Google Voice, and you're not going to use it. Sorry, my bad. Just kidding. For real, no. That's awesome that you have something built in. How do you find recordings you did earlier on Meet? So I go to my Google Drive, and Google creates a folder called Meet Recordings, and you just scroll down to it. And here it is. This is the one I recorded earlier. I could go in and see this. Sometimes it takes a while for it to process, but here it is. Boom. I have that video. It's in there. Okay. Sweet. Good questions. How are you showing the questions on your screen? Is that a YouTube thing or a StreamYard thing? That is a StreamYard thing. I just hit the plus sign and it adds y'all's comments directly into, and plus I can have set stuff. So like the teacher, all this other stuff, that's stuff that I have set that I can pull in anytime I want. Okay, so sounds like school status is good to go for you guys. That's dope. All right, so keep asking questions. We got a few more minutes. If you have anything you want me to show you or give you my opinion on, I can. I'm trying to roll through all of you guys. Tell me that you have school status, which is awesome. That's really cool that you have something. On Google Meet, how can you hide the link? You can't, unless you just create a new Meet link and then delete it until Google does that update. Do I have a license to use all the features? That's up to your district. I don't remember how much it costs. I know there's a couple of districts that are paying for Screencastify, but honestly, unless your district is like showing you how and stuff, that's my experience from being the guy at the district level that purchases everything. I don't want to just roll something out because I think it's good. I want to train the teachers. I want to make sure they feel comfortable with it. They know how to use it. And they have all the resources and tools to use it, or else I just wasted some money. So if a bunch of people at your district are using it, it might be worth it. Or if you're going to train teachers or throw out some tutorials, you could do it. But I think Screencastify, from the little bit I've used of it, I really like it. Okay. Some people asking more good questions. Do you use a webcam that follows you around the room? Which one would you recommend? Oh, there have been a lot of these. I haven't used any personally, but I've used them at conferences when I present. They'll like hand it to me, and like there's a mic that also it tracks. I'm actually presenting off my computer right now. I usually plug my DSLR camera into it, but I knew we were gonna have a lot of people here, and I didn't want to lag because that's like high quality stuff, and I didn't want to mess it up. Okay. What was MSNBC talking about this morning? What did Miss Evans say? Let me look. Do you use a webcam that follows you around the room? Oh, I don't. That must have been what they're talking about. I don't know. I don't. There's good products out there. I don't use any. I just kind of stay near the front, and I show my screen. So if, like, say you're teaching your class and you've got class in front of you, class on here, I'm presenting my screen. It's on the projector, but it's also on here, so they can see it. And I'm doing StreamYard. Everybody's watching. if I stepped over here and I was just like, all right, guys, do this, do this, do this, they can still hear me, hopefully, as long as I don't get too far away from my computer. But you know what you might do if you have AirPods? You can put one of them in and then connect it to the computer so they can hear you better. So just an idea. Sorry, I had a hiccup. Screencastify is great for student reflections and video journaling. Yes, Cynthia, that's a good point. So that's another thing I want to say. Your students make videos all the time. Allow them to submit videos. It doesn't always have to be a one paragraph answer. They're going to need to get out and be active, especially if they're virtual. Tell them, and here's the deal, they know how to do video. They might know how to edit in Final Cut Pro, but they know how to edit in TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram stories. Tell them, say, hey, make a 1 minute video recap on Instagram or on TikTok, and then upload the video into here or put the link into here. Those kids would love that stuff for recapping, and you could do it through Screencastify as well. Oh, no. Oh, so Clifford brought up a good point. On Google Voice, it gives you a phone number, and that's your phone number. Like, I've had the same Google Voice phone number for 11 years. So it doesn't change unless you choose to go in. I could go in and delete that number and add a new one if I wanted to. So it's not a random number. So you can remember that number and send it out. So cool. Yeah, Tanya, if you guys have something like school status, just use that. You don't have to use voice. It's just, as long as it has those features, you're good to go. Okay. You can have an office. Lance is talking. Lance, I noticed, Lance, you know some stuff. Lance is a smart dude. Lance said you have an office number they can call to leave you a message, and then you can call that back and they can keep that number. So that does that. You can do voicemails in Google Voice, and I'm sure school status probably does the same thing. Okay, sweet. Okay, any more questions, or do I need to scroll up and see some? I know we're near the end of this. Rachel and Casey, is there anything else you want me to talk about or discuss? Swivel, that's the one. I was trying to think. I use Swivel at a couple conferences, and it works really well. And I bet that was 5 years ago. I bet it's gotten better now. You can buy it, and it just like, you can buy a stand. It used to. You could buy a stand, and your phone sits on it, and it follows you around the room. That would be really cool if you guys have the money to do it. So thanks, Ann or Annie. I don't know. I'm never good at doing that, and I apologize if I did it wrong. Somebody said, oh, so y'all are meeting with Schoology this afternoon. Okay, good. Link a lot of the stuff I'm telling you there. So hopefully you can use what I've told you about these features and things and ask how you can import that and put that into Schoology, okay? Or Schoolology, if you want to call it that to them. So any more questions? Okay, so Rachel said that you have to use an iPad with Swivel. So that stinks. I thought they had one for an iPhone. That would be cool. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling up to look for it. Look for stuff. Also, I remember to that thing, if you text it, I'm going to try to make that cheat sheet for students, and that's for students and parents, and it's going to have links to all these things that you can just send it out to them. So, and I'm thinking about making it like step 1, do this. Step 2, watch these. Step 3, watch these, like a cheat sheet. So like almost like the first day of school, you hand it out and they walk through all of those. And here's the deal. If you make them, instead of you being like I'm doing, you're just like, all right, guys, we're going to do an assignment and walk through and submit it, and I'm going to walk you through it. You can walk it through them once. But if you know, what is it? You give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You feed a man. Nope, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, eats for a lifetime. You have them walk through those steps, and they're going through the cheat sheet. They're getting so many reps to know that's where that resource is, so that they're not emailing you 800 times when they want to do something. Okay, I think we're right here at the end. Last minute questions. Last minute questions. The link is there, but it's under. Okay, guys, if you need any help, if you need links to any resource that I've talked about, if you're like, Tyler, where was this? Where was this? Text teacher to this, and then just ask me, and I can text it directly to you. I'm going to send this out. I'm going to send this, and I'll toss in the chat the link to my resources. All of them are on tarveracademy.com. This is all of them. I'm going to toss that out. The cheat sheet is at tarveracademy.com/Google Teacher. That's the cheat sheet. And so if you need those, go for it. Okay, guys? I'm willing to stay on here as long as y'all want, but I know that you guys got stuff to do. I know y'all want to go get lunch. So I really appreciate you guys. Again, I do these lives. I do like variations of this or specific. I don't do like my full Google training like I just did with you guys, but I do like little stuff, Q&A with people on my YouTube channel. So hit subscribe if you would. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate your time and attention. You guys, I'm not gonna lie, I've done some of these. and they don't get, sometimes they're active in the chat, sometimes they're not. You guys are very talkative. You helped each other out. That's what you need to do in your classes, guys. Like y'all do test evaluations. A 3 is if you do a great job and you build this culture of communication and you guys are chatting. But a 4 is if while I'm talking, I don't even have to look at the chat, because when a student asks a question in the chat, you guys and those other students are all in there talking. And so you want to curate and have students helping each other. That's a 4 on the test. And you can do that easily through this. And it's documented on your YouTube videos. So thank you guys so much. I think you guys are awesome. I've got the chance. I did my baller teacher PD with you guys. That's my main keynote thing that I do. I didn't do it at a back to school, but I did it at like a breakout, and I've stretched it to 6 hours. I've done some Google stuff. I did YouTube a couple times. I love working with PCSSD. Y'all's teachers are always attentive. Y'all pay attention. You like, you want this stuff, and I could tell like when teachers want to get better versus like, oh, I gotta learn virtual. Yeah. Like, I love that you guys want to get better. So thank you guys. Hit me up if you have any questions. I want to be, I would love to train with you guys every year. I love working with y'all school, and I would love, this is like a, really, I can make this a 2-day PD if like I do the activity side. If I just ran through it, it's like 3 to 6 hours, but it's just so much information, especially whenever we want, because I want it to be practical. I want to talk to you guys about what you're specifically wanting, because we know it's just like any math problem. There's like little variations for everybody. Thank you guys so much. Man, y'all are saying really nice stuff, and it makes me feel really good. I really appreciate it. You know what? 1,000 points to Gryffindor. You guys are incredible. So if you need anything, holler at me. I want to be a resource to you guys. I want you to have my resources. I'm putting stuff on TikTok and Instagram and my website, everything. You're doing a quick check-in at 12:30 is what Rachel said. Guys, I'm about to get out. I'm going to close this out. You guys are dope. Patrick, I love you, man. You're dope. Thank you, guys. Y'all be good. I'm glad they chose me too. Miss Smith, you guys are awesome. Johnson, you're the real ball. You're the baller. He's a baller. He's a baller. You're the real baller. That's actually a book I wrote. It's called Baller Teacher Playbook. All right. See you guys later. Y'all be good. Seriously, I appreciate you. Got it. This year is going to be different, but different doesn't have to be better or worse. Different can be better. Just be willing to mess up, learn from it, keep making it better, adjust, communicate, all the stuff we talked about today. You guys got this. You're going to do great. Keep listening to people, asking questions, and working with people. You got this. See you guys later. Never stop learning. Peace.